got a helicopter. Obviously, government conspiracy.
Get the fucking reader.
The synchronicities.
EF reader. It's the radio waves.
Nah, but dude, so going back to like that fucking, I don't think the fucking London Frogman shit would pan out just because like it's so.
I mean, I'm
incredibly fucking obscure.
I'm gonna look into it either way.
No, it'd be cool just to
because that's my hometown, and I love Kappa.
I just don't. Yeah, right. I just don't think you'd be able to find shit.
It's not the ghetto bird.
Damn. It's cooking.
That's an interesting way to start the podcast.
Right.
Welcome to synchronicity. No, I mean, again, like we were saying, the recording is kind of just...
And it was kind of just like a one-time fucking thing, though. Well, I know there were like numerous reports, like several of them, but like I know that after that it simmered down.
That would be one we'd have to research, I guess, to see if it.
Maybe just finding what would be cool because I'm pretty sure that there were police officers that saw something, and just if those people were still even alive, just talking to them because I've never read anything of them being interviewed. I'm sure maybe like
there's a Wikipedia for it.
Well, there's a fucking Wikipedia for it.
If there's a wiki for it, it must be true.
I mean, I could read it right off the cuff. In Ohio folklore, the Loveland frog, the Rana Surrectus.
Also it has a scientific name.
It has a scientific name, so it's real. Also known as the Loveland frogman or the Loveland lizard, is a legendary humanoid frog described as standing roughly 4 feet or 1.2 meters tall. Allegedly spotted in Loveland, Ohio. In 1972, the Loveland frog legend gained renewed attention when a Loveland police officer reported to a colleague that he had seen an animal consistent with the descriptions of the frogman. After a purported sighting in 2016, the second officer called a news station to report that he had shot and killed the same creature some weeks after the 1972 incident and had identified it as a large iguana that was missing its tail.
How the fuck? How in the fuck do you confuse the two things?
And how big?
How do you go, man? It was a big old frog.
And how big? Like
how big was that fucking iguana?
Like
dude?
I mean, I can understand somebody having a pet and letting it out in the wild. That's like an Easter common thing. Like when you see like Easter rabbits. But like, what fucking person releases a 4-foot iguana?
They just get fucking sick with it. They're like, yo.
Or either that or that guy's dependent on a
was he
really...
saying that he said it looked like a 4-foot iguana, or it was?
No, he said it was missing its tail.
The guy from 72 said that he shot and killed the large iguana.
Oh, well, I guess that's debunked itself then.
Oh, well, it's still real. It's there.
It's there.
I just love that the depictions is literally
a
giant
Ohio
frog.
thing, though, man. Like, go figure. We'd get stuck with the giant frog.
The problem is, well, especially locally, there's nothing that's like real current. Like all the UFO sightings in this area were in the 70s, or earlier than that, in the 60s.
Well, when was Right Pat built?
Oh, Right Pat's been around for a while.
It's been around for a really long time.
Right Pat was where the shit from Roswell was sent.
You heard Hangar 18?
Yeah, that was Right Pat.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like a pseudo tiny fucking Area 51, supposedly.
It's dude. Nowadays, I doubt there's anything top secret there. It's so right out in the public eye. You know.
That might be why it is there.
Yeah, but
I've seen Gummo. Have you been to Dayton? That place is fucked up.
No, but it's just, I don't know. I'm sure at one time there was some sketchy shit there, but I don't think it'd be there anymore.
Yeah, it just seems like everything's too quiet. I don't know. That's why I think
it's just ghosts and Sasquatch shit, dude. And then
yeah, because we have a large area, square footage of fucking just woodlands, you know.
I feel like Ohio gets kind of like skipped over on that. I mean, you get like in the middle of the state, like there's a lot of fucking cornfields and shit, but dude, for the most part, I mean, once you get out of the city pockets, there ain't shit. There's nothing.
It's very rural.
Yeah, very, very rural.
For sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, rural kind of perpetuates.
Did you get out down
local legend?
You get out down 32. Actually, you go anywhere on 32. You can just follow that fucking state route, and it's the Bigfoot shit's all through there, man. All through there. I mean, you get down. I mean, and that shit, you kind of go out the way of like a Wayne National Forest is supposed to be a fucking hotbed. I mean, I know there's a lot of fucking goofy people out there that do the whole interdimensional this and alien that with Bigfoot, but
During Cold War,
yeah,
sure.
You're gonna get those in every group, but I don't know. I think that there was, I don't know if there is still something out there, or that was a hot spot. Another thing too is like as soon as you're finding Bigfoots and shit started going, that place fucking blew up, dude. Everyone and their fucking brother was there looking for shit.
Where was this?
Wayne National Forest.
That's in.
It's out east. No, it's eastern Ohio. It's not too far from the river.
It's getting towards like Point Pleasant.
You're getting over that. Well, it's kind of more. Yeah, it's kind of central, a little bit eastern.
I mean, but we also are like a state that's popular for like haunting stuff, particularly like old architecture and narratives.
Especially
that
fucking
exist in
downtown,
buildings.
dude. Like all the fucking history packed down in there, dude, with the Underground Railroad and everything.
Well, and you're also talking about a city that literally at one point pretty much built on top of it fucking self.
Oh yeah. Cincinnati was the spot. I mean, that's why I got the nickname Queen City. It was that we were supposed to be something much bigger than we actually ended up being.
And then we fell 10 years behind. Thanks, Mark Twain.
Always, dude.
Yeah.
Always a couple steps back.
The prophecy.
That's pretty good though. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah. A little bit slower. Pay more attention.
Yeah, I guess Cincinnati is the Queen City of Munich in Germany. That's like its sister city. Because Munich is the other
dope.
Queen City.
That's pretty dope. I'll take that. I'll take it then.
I was just reading today about Over the Rhine. It's about that book about Over the Rhine. And how heavily influenced Cincinnati was from like the German population.
Oh yeah, it was like the fucking hot spot. When my family came over, they left fucking Hamburg, landed in fucking New York. I think they fucked around in Pennsylvania for like a little bit and then made a beeline for Cincinnati.
And then they got the fuck out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they were like, fuck that. And then one brother randomly went, I'm going to become a dairy farmer in Wisconsin. Just kind of fucked off.
Hey, don't
Hey,
hate,
cheese
don't
curds,
hate,
go
don't hate.
Packers.
Yeah. Go Packs.
Fuck you guys. My family's from fucking Wisconsin.
We got nothing against it. We're just like,
I mean, they eventually moved here, so.
yeah, they just eventually went like, hey.
And then it's just a family of lactose intolerant with an obsession with cheese.
Cincinnati
likes to
was
suffer.
the Swine City,
Right.
which is also we're
A
also, We're at
synchronicity.
Swine City Brewing right now.
Yeah, drinking a mix of beers.
But yeah, we were like the big exporter of pork.
Yeah, well, we were a river city and we were a railroad city.
Yeah.
Exporters of pork, we were put on the map, and then eventually
Like,
places like Chicago and Cleveland kind
I
of
don't know
overcame
if I'm
us.
like correctly remembering this, but I think the whole like Bobby Mackey's thing. I think what originally was there, like prior to all the bullshit, was a slaughterhouse. And I think it was
Sure.
So you got
pork.
pig scratches on your bag?
Yeah, you got
Hoof
you got
prints.
pork
Hoof
ghost,
prints.
dude.
Pork. Porkgeist.
Yeah, porkergeist, dude.
Pork, you guys.
Dude, but that fucking place, man. For the whole ghost shit, that place is fucked. That place is fucked. Because you feel it, dude, as soon as you walk in that motherfucker, dude. And it's a bigger place for like a bar, like as a bar standpoint, but it has no reason being that fucked up. I mean, like, yeah, the history's kind of fucked up, sketch.
That's why it's.
But it is fucked in there, dude.
That's why it's cash only. It's because the
dude.
credit card readers don't work.
Well,
Fucking radio
fucking
waves.
surprised me, dude. Well, that's like as soon as you walk in there, right on the fucking wall. As soon as you walk in the door, is we ain't responsible for electronics, fucking up and malfunctioning and breaking. Like they have this big long fucking spiel. They make you read when you come in and shit, and it's no bullshit.
Is it a
dude.
creepy bar?
No.
Like the
bar.
curve?
The bar up top, like the main floor is just. It's an old fucking honky tonk, dude. It's an old. It's just old style.
The
Country Western
bar
bar.
and the layout of it is very similar to Bogart's.
Yeah, but like you get
okay.
Like that kind of bar, maybe a little bit more like rustic.
Yeah,
but and then
more
it's got like a
rustic.
big open area with a stage and stuff, and then it's got a mechanical
like
bowl.
the upstairs is
it's
the
like a
upstairs
legit
is
country
creepy.
western bar.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
upstairs is
it's
creepy.
it's cash only cowboy boots and hats, and if you're
Oh,
wearing
okay.
anything else, you were out of place.
But the fucking basement, dude, that was the that was the creepy part. And I know that's so like stereotypical. The basement's scary. No, but dude, like
Everybody's parents' basement was scary.
that
at one
fucking
point.
basement, man. They had like the old changing rooms for like the dancers and shit are still down there, and that little fucking stone room thing. That's where, like, trying to remember the night like in order. I think that's immediately once I went in because it's this tiny little room. It's like a glorified like round closet. But as soon as I went in there and like looked around, I was like, okay, cool, ain't much to see, and I stepped out and like let everyone else go in. Like right after that is when my back started feeling weird, and I feel like that's when I feel like that was the room I got scratched up. And then they had the whole like legend, like, oh, if the dancers had kids, this is where they put the kids. And I don't fucking know. That's what the guy was saying.
I think that's probably a little bit more doctored. It might be true, but
then they had that one I think they call it like the Room of Faces or some shit. It's like this big concrete fucking room. And at one point in the tour, the guy was like, oh, we can all stand here. There were only him and 4 of us. And he's like, I'm going to turn the light off. And it's a pretty decent sized room. He's like, I'm going to turn the light off. And dude, like you went in there, and the only way I can describe it is like you felt like you were shoulder to shoulder with everybody.
Sure.
Like it just felt like you were fucking crammed in there. But we were all, decently spaced out in there, and no one around each other. Yeah, exactly. But it's just, I don't know, the whole vibe of that place is off, dude. It's just off.
Now the question though is the vibe doctored? I mean, you think,
and I know you kind of
think of like the covered bridge we were talking about earlier. There was like the little the rail yard pickup house that's down in Marymount that we like broke into multiple times. Americana, like all those places kind of have their stories that have kind of been like, in essence, true and fabricated by the general public over time, So it eventually, obviously, it adds attraction to go there.
Well, I didn't tell you guys the full.
Oh yeah, let's hear your.
Oh yeah, we got the
covered bridge.
Story covered bridge.
Breaking news. So, 2 days ago, me and my brother got a wild hair because I was reading about. You can't find shit about Stonelick Covered Bridge. Like I think it's just an urban legend. I don't think there's any history that backs up the urban legend, but the urban legend is like the same urban legend for every covered bridge, where you go on the bridge, you turn off your car, you flash your lights 3 times, you turn it on, or you're not supposed to be able to turn it on until you see a ghost. That's the urban legend. And we did it as kids and shit, but me and my brother were like, okay, well, let's go down there because he's got the EF reader or whatever, or the EMF reader to find cameras and shit. And so he turns it on and puts the sensitivity on the EMF reader all the way down, because that's like where you start. You start low until you get a ping, and then you back off a little bit to get rid of the ping. So he turns it all the way down, and we're on 50, Route 50, going out to Stonelick Williams. I think it's Stonelick Williams Corner.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time.
I can't remember. But the whole way out, there's power lines along the road. There's house.
Fucking cocksucker.
Got a rice burner.
Jesus Christ.
Power lines, lights, houses, and you get like a little blip every once in a while. It could be like a VHF radio from a plane, or just random things, CB radios. And so we get like a little beep. You turn off to go towards the bridge. If you go right, you go to the church. If you go left, you go to the bridge. And they're both within.
Right. Well, and that's
like 300 yards of each other.
And the bridge is a one-way, but that is a dead-end road that's on the other side of the bridge, isn't it? I don't think it continues.
I don't know.
I think you cross the bridge and then it eventually just goes into kind of like a short little turnaround street and comes back, I thought.
It is definitely now, because there's a detour on the road. It says local traffic only. So you get to a certain point and there's literally barricades that you're not allowed to go further. I don't know if there's another bridge out or something. It burned down years ago. They rebuilt it.
Yeah,
but anyways,
I remember that.
So you go over like a legit bridge, a modern bridge, and you take a right, it'll go to the church. Take a left, it goes to the bridge. So we take the left, and his EMF reader still all the way down. This is like so not sensitive at this point where you could touch it to your cell phone while making a call and it won't go off. We get 100 feet from the bridge. It goes, whee! It pings out all the way up. All the lights lit up, full tilt. It goes all the way up. We go over the bridge, go down to the other side. Or we did the little turn off your car, flash your lights thing. Nothing happened.
Is it the alarm still going
It's going this whole time, but Derek turned it down because it was annoying. And then he takes the sensitivity back down. It keeps pinging out. We go over the bridge, go down the other side, pings until we get 100 feet away from the bridge, and then it goes silent. Turn around.
Could there be anything buried in the ground there, like any kind of lines or anything?
So here's the thing. I mean,
I'm just thinking.
But you also got to think like a bridge is also an access point across a river, which is also a structure that you're able to strap any type of cabling line, electric
But
cable,
why would it be
etc.
100 foot?
There's also lights and cameras on the bridge, and high voltage power lines that go over the bridge. And we were like, well, that's clearly it. But the thing is, you saw how unsensitive it was. Like, I can put it, like, there's power lines right here. If I stood right underneath these,
wouldn't pick anything up.
It wouldn't do shit. And there was lights on the bridge, but the lights are, it's a huge covered bridge. The ceiling's 20 feet away.
Yeah.
And it would ping the whole way. I mean, I'm not trying to be.
Well, is that also the church? Is that the church where all that, like, where they say like that's the new church and the old church back in the woods?
Yeah, I remember in high school
there used
to be a thing where it's like if you either did the bridge thing, or there was the church, and it was like I can't remember what it was. There was like a family that I think owned the church, even though the church I think was out of commission. And it had like a big graveyard that's attached to it. But supposedly, like, if you went up the hill along the graveyard and then through the woods a little ways, eventually you'd find the Hell Church in the woods. And people in high school used to be like, yeah, we saw people there, got chased out and other shit. And you're kind of like, like.
We looked it up.
Pre-social media.
On their wiki. It might have been some forum somewhere, but they said that that's the thing is, you go to the Hell Church. And occultists chase you away on their quads. I'm like, yeah, occultists are sitting out there on a Tuesday night
just waiting,
on their
like,
quads.
We're going to catch these fucking meddling kids, dude. We got them tonight.
I mean, if it was on like Halloween or something.
I just dry cleaned my fucking robes, dude. I'm ready for this shit. Got my running shoes on.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's
got my New Balances.
Yeah,
I feel one with the devil.
I looked more into that, and I guess at one point there was 2 chimneys out there in the woods that burned down. And that's what people are calling the Hell Church, is where those chimneys are.
Oh, so they're misidentifying landmarks.
I think there's a lot of tall tales from that area.
Yeah.
Because as far as I can tell, no one ever killed themselves at that bridge. But it has burned down like twice.
Well, that was the same thing when I was looking into the fucking Lick Road shit. So there's no real confirmed, I guess, like death per se. Yeah. And like the name that's tossed around, names don't add up. It's all this weird shit. There's been like a death and weird shit in the area. But I guess the whole thing is like it's a spooky dead end road and it dead ends, but you can see where it continues. You know what I mean? And then there's this abandoned bridge there. And so it's naturally going to fucking gather some type of fucking mystery and fucking scariness to it. Sure. Yeah. But like I said, dude, it said in the thing, like in the little shit I was reading, to like contact the park. I think it was the Hamilton County Park District, and like they will give you permission to go on the land, or they won't.
Did they say anything about like specifically for that purpose to go ghost hunting or?
I don't.
I feel like the more you get into paranormal, the more it would be like, no.
You'd have to like, hey, we're doing like an informative kind of like.
Well, because they
do like we're like doing like a kind of a crime-esque thing. We're looking into kind of like folkloric. Murders of the Cincinnati area. You know, murders.
I have a feeling, though,
crime that's not really backed to any sort of fact, but like, how did this?
Their immediate response though is going to be what avenue are you trying to present?
We could pull a film permit from the city.
But the problem though is that like if you have an area that is high contact for, let's say, teenagers, younger generation to explore because of that, they're going to be extremely careful about you saying, hey, we want to go go take footage. Okay, what are you doing with that footage? Because all you're doing is perpetually causing people to be more and more interested to try and break city laws, enter areas.
Weirdly, we ran into that same fucking problem at East Fork. Because you can ask for park permission to like be there after dark. Because it's usually like anything else, park closes at dark. And, you know, unless you're camping or some shit. So yeah, we kind of went in and were like, hey, you know, we were there for the Bigfoot reports, right? And that we talked to the park ranger that told us from back in the 70s when the closure happened.
Sure.
And that shit it would all be public record now, but it is hidden behind so much fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That you could tell it was intentionally swept under the rug. They didn't want any spotlight. They didn't want it. And so we were told that going in, and then so getting into the place after dark, and it sucks, you know, we can't get in trouble for it fucking now. It was fucking years ago, but we were just like, fuck it, we're going. If we get busted, just have a decent fucking excuse, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or what you could do to save your ass.
Just like, oh, you're fucking.
What you could do to save your ass is just rent a fucking camping spot. because you're allowed camping there, and just be like, oh, we didn't know we weren't allowed to take a hike at night, that kind of shit.
Well,
so we thought about that too.
They'd be like, you're allowed to, but you're a dumbass
So
for doing
I don't.
so.
What's like the lay of the land over there? Because I know there's a dead end road, and I read online that there's a park at the end of the dead end road.
Lick Road.
Yeah.
So Lick Road, literally, I mean, it's.
Or are you talking about East Fork?
I was
Did I
talking about the
backtrack?
East. Yeah, you backed. It's okay. No, like,
you already screwed
no,
up.
but the Lick Road
recording.
shit. So
Rewind
yeah,
it.
you get to that dead end road, and it kind of goes along some farmhouses and shit, and then just deads into this kind of turnaround. But there's, and you got to make sure you don't fuck this up. There's a gate to the left, and then there's going to be a gate in front of you. And
choose
you
your own
adventure. You want to
adventure.
go over the gate in the fucking middle. I can't stress that enough. You go over the gate to the left. You run a high likelihood of getting chased out by an old green Chevrolet. And when I mean chased out, I mean like, dude, like fastest my fat ass has ever ran in my fucking life, dude. I hurdled a gate. I've never hurdled shit in my life. But I mean, and even then, but like I know it's a decent little walk back to the actual bridge. But also if you go to that's where the confusion is if you go straight, like the bridge is up there, the actual bridge. But if you also go to the left, there is another bridge there. So like that's where you run into this like folklore kind of fucking confusion, is because people hear these fucking hand-me-down, telephone game stories, and then they go to look into it for fun, like everyone fucking does. Right. And it gets twisted and morphed into its own thing. But like I said,
that's how urban legends work.
When you hunt the thrill and the thrill doesn't reward, you end up extending the thrill to continue.
Nick
it anyway.
swore he saw something right there at the turnoff. And that's the thing, people have reported weird shit there.
Right.
And I mean, no evidence to back it up, but tons of reports. And so I kind of chalked it up to nothing. We went there one night and, to smoke marijuana. That was literally it, just because we had nothing else to do. And
let's go do something spooky and get really fucked up.
No, dude,
I see something.
I don't like to joke about it, dude. Scott had to throw his fucking like grandpa's bowl out the window. But anyway,
damn, his grandpa smoking out of a fucking board.
Papa handed that shit down. Right. But so I'm in the car. I'm in the passenger seat. Scott's in the driver's seat. Nick's like, I'm gonna get out. I think he had to take a piss or some shit.
Sounds like.
But anyway, he's standing at the back of the car, pissing, and I can kind of see him in the fucking rear view. Just like
you were just
I was trying to copy there, and they're in Hall out the seat.
Cop his cock.
Yeah, but so like we're all sitting there. Me and Scott are shooting the shit,
looking at his watch,
and all of a sudden Nick fucking crawls up the back of the fucking car, like onto the fucking trunk, and he's going go 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 go, and he jumps in dives across us in the fucking car, like is crawling to the back seat.
Dick's still hanging out.
And so Scott we slammed the doors and we're going out.
What did you think at the time?
I thought fucking cops, dude.
Oh, sure.
Instinctively.
Yeah.
Because
that's more terrifying.
Cruise that area.
You guys are doing illegal.
They cruise that area.
That's more
terrifying.
So
Scott
than...
fucking tosses the bowl. We're fucking freaking out, and Nick is like, no, but Nick's like teary-eyed, fucking stirred up, dude. And I'm like, what the fuck? What? Because there's no fucking cops. You'd see a cop on that road for a mile.
Yeah, they're not hiding in the
park.
And
I'm like, what the fuck, Nick? What the fuck? He goes, I fucking saw legs, dude. I fucking saw legs. And what he describes it as, and he says it sounds cheesy and dumb, but like the fucking like the ring girl shit.
Yeah.
He said like in the woods, it's like thick kind of woods out there and kind of shrubby. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting there. He's like, he was finished taking a piss, and he's like finishing his cigarette, and he just like looked up, and he said there was something in the woods that like didn't match the color. It was in fall. So it was something that was like standing out, and he couldn't really see any definition to it. He said all of a sudden he saw two fucking legs start walking, and he said he could see the end of like a white fucking kind of gown thing above the knee. But he said the legs looked like muddy, like there was some discoloration to the legs.
Jesus Christ.
And he said that they just kind of at a brisk pace started walking away in the woods. There's fucking nothing out there, dude. And that part of the property boots up to like, I think there's like a quarry and then like just the regular fucking woods. And like, so I mean, and I believe Nick. I take Nick on his fucking word. He's a long time friend of mine. But like, you reach that point where you're like, I haven't really read or heard anyone have that kind of experience there. But
sure,
what do you don't want to tell anyone, oh, you're fucking lying, you're full of shit, you didn't see that.
And you sprinkle a little bit of the cannabis grass in there too, and you get a little.
No, but dude, we had just smoked, like we weren't fucked up that time at all,
Sure.
But it's just it's the weird thing. It's like what I saw out in fucking Brown County, dude. Like I fucking saw some shit, and I've had everyone on their fucking brother try to like a dude from like the Cincinnati Magazine. I can't remember his fucking name. Trying like grilling me on. He goes, "Well, could it have been a black bear? Because we do have fucking black bear here." And I'm like, dude, I've seen tons of black bear. I've been to fucking Canada. I've done the shit. Like I've seen every fucking native species to Ohio. Nothing, unless you could get a cow with massive back legs to just stand up and run.
Right.
That's what else.
Dude, I'd take my milk.
No, but that was the fucking scary thing. Is
what
like,
were you doing? Were
going into hunting? No, me and my dad were hunting. We got in there. I can't remember the time. I know it had to have been gun season.
Right, because you had.
So I had my gun, and everyone's like, "Why didn't you fucking shoot, dude?" That's the thing. Like
that's not how hunting
always
season
like,
works.
People are always like, "Why didn't you take a picture? Why didn't you shoot it?" That is so fucking easy to say when you're outside of that moment.
Sure.
But dude, like walking in, because I had a good little walk to get back to my stand. So me and my dad are on two separate ends of the property.
Right.
Nowhere near any fucking houses. Mm-hmm. It's like 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. It's still pitch black.
How long
in the
did you
woods.
see it? How long was it?
The whole fucking. So like I came down the path. I was like, I came in from the field. Opened the gate, closed the gate, blah blah. I'm walking in, and then I heard something to my left. Heard something stand up in these saplings, and at that time I'm probably like 30 yards down the trail.
Into the woods?
Into the woods.
Okay.
And so I heard like there's like a little grove of saplings, yeah. And I heard something heard movement, heard something get up. And so I'm thinking, oh shit, I just jumped up some bedded down doe, or
sure.
It could be fucking turkey. It could be anything.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh shit. And I had a little tiny mag light, so I just like put it in my chest to snuff out the light. And I'm just like, let it go on. Don't startle nothing. I'm trying to get a fucking deer today. And it just kept like moving around, like not like pacing, but I just kept hearing movement. And finally, I'm like, what the fuck? And after a couple seconds, so I remember having to bend down to like get below, the branch and like leaf level of the saplings. And I was like shining my light around.
This is early morning?
Yeah, like 5-ish in the morning.
Okay.
So it's still dark as shit in the woods. And I put my light on it, and it was the only thing I can describe it as, and it was kind of like a half side view, like half side of the body. Like it was standing sideways, but a little bit towards me. So like I think it was looking at me, just like kind of cocked. And so all I saw was like, the only way I can describe it is like rusty, like orangey brown, like a rusty orange, rusty brown, like
long hair or like cow hair.
No, like hair. The best thing like that I can say is like similar to it is a fucking orangutan. How that fucking hair looks.
Oh, like matted kind of.
Yeah, and it was kind of matted, but and it had parts of the hair that were like longer. Like on the sides, the hair kind of stuck.
It's hair that doesn't grow out. It's hair that grows down.
I saw legs, and like what I think were like the ends of that, like the lower forearm and hands. But I don't remember the hands because it was as soon as my light was on it, dude. My light was on it for like 2-3 seconds, and this fucking thing took off, dude. And it's that's the thing. If you hunt, you know what animals sound like a squirrel, a deer. This thing sounded fucking big,
heavy. Yeah.
It just the thump. I mean, you could hear the hits from the feet.
You could hear how much as it's displacing as it moves.
How much ground it covered, because it had to go through those saplings, go through the rest of the woods. It had to go down 2 small, like kind of little ledges, because the trail kind of wound down the hill, down the ridge.
Oh, okay.
So it had to go like down and down
Steps,
again.
Yeah.
Then it hit a fucking creek bed. That creek bed is probably, I'm just like offhand, like 20-25 foot wide.
Is it federal land?
Bed. No, it was all private land. I could get in touch with the guy.
Yeah, that would.
I could reach out.
Cool.
But dude, what got me when I thought about it later was how wide that creek is. I only heard 2 steps in rocks. Like you could hear it when it hit the rocks in the creek,
so
and then it tore up the next ridge. Dude, I didn't move. I didn't so I quit. The whole thing from start to finish was like 15-20 seconds.
Yeah. And
then so I quit hearing it. Like it just kept going, kept running off, and I stood there until it was fucking daylight. Like until I could see. So I literally stood in place for probably about an hour and a half.
Locked and loaded, huh? Ready
No, I didn't even have my gun in my hands. Literally, dude, the closest I've ever been to like literally shitting my pants.
Really?
Oh yeah, and people are like, "Oh, well, were you?" Well, what I saw, that's what kills me.
Did you get a deer that day?
Yeah. How old?
14, 15.
Well, was this
probably not
prior to
super
you having an interest
bold.
in Squatch World?
Oh no, I'd been interested in it.
Okay.
No,
Just out of curiosity, I didn't know
but
if this was like a
my mom used
as a
to-
detrimental
no, but-
moment as to why you care about it.
My
now,
mom
you know?
used to put the shit on TV. Like it was never like a discussion in my house. It was just like, oh, it's on TV, haha. You know what I mean? And then
Harry and the Hendersons.
But that is what fucking kickstarted the shit. Because after I saw it, everything went through my fucking head. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And so you go through every possible fucking explanation, and then nothing fucking adds up. And everyone's like, oh, like I hear a lot of people like, oh, in my sighting, I wasn't really scared. I respected it, and it was beautiful. And this and no, I was fucking genuinely horrified. Like straight up, it was. At no point did I go, wow, this is beautiful. No, I went, wow, holy fuck, this thing could fucking kill me. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then you consider the fact that it took two bounds in order to cross the
yeah,
creek, and you go, well, if that thing would have decided to go straight instead of away.
That's the horrifying thing. How big it, from what I saw of it, how big it looked, how big it sounded, but how fast it was, dude.
You smell
it fucking. That's the thing. I don't really recall a heavy fucking odor. Because that's what a lot of people. And I've smelled the odor in certain areas.
Right.
So I know the smell, but with mine, I don't. I mean, it could have just been in the moment. I don't remember it.
All you can smell was your own
I could have
shit.
smelled it, but that's not what stuck out in my head. What stuck out in my head was that whole fucking interaction. But after that, dude, like it fucked me up with like the wood shit for like a long time. Mm-hmm. Not. I don't want to say like I was for like a year I was afraid, but like after that it became like
Curious.
you just have curious, but you have a healthy fucking respect because you're like, dude. And then especially like the year after or 2 years after I went to fucking Quebec, and so you get up there, dude, to where there's fucking nothing.
There could be anything
and dude,
in Northern Canada.
That's when you literally you're out there, and I remember I'm out there bear hunting shit. I watched a moose go into the fucking woods 15 foot and just disappear. Like you could hear it, you couldn't fucking see it. I'm like, there could be fucking anything. You could pack a bag and walk out and be like, I'm gonna live in the woods, and no one would ever know. No, you could live 100 foot off a fucking road, no one would fucking know.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking
Right.
dense,
Well, and
dude.
you always told me too that it's like you did that Canada trip, and you're pretty much like, well, if anything fucking goes wrong, it's pretty much like a 15-minute helicopter flight to come get us. You know,
dude,
like,
no, they had to come get it. They when we got to camp, they were like, hey, it's a 2-hour helicopter ride to the nearest hospital that can like fucking take care of you.
Right.
Like, because I guess the previous year or so they had a dude, bored up in his tree stand like, I'm gonna carve mine and my girlfriend's name in this tree, and sliced his fucking arm open.
Uh-oh.
And they're like,
are they still together?
yeah, right. Tragically.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Written in blood in the
He
Canadian.
didn't make it out?
Oh no, he made it out,
okay.
but they were, because we were the youngest people they ever allowed hunt up there. Usually it was like adults only, and I was able to drive. Yeah, I was 16 because I remember driving the fucking excursion on the road while Gavin's dad and his buddy got shit faced in the back seat. Dude, we were on a gravel road for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, I could do
Like
that.
you pulled off of what is an already barren road.
Is this
onto
where we
a
turn?
gravel road that just, dude, 3 hours just in.
Is this where we turn? I don't know. The sign's in French. Just go.
Oh, dude, no, and you just go in, and it feels like after the first hour, I'm like, man, this place is kind of far back here, and then you reach like 2 hours, you're like, it never fucking ends. You're so
Well,
far
and
back.
at that point, you feel like you're just seeing the same pattern of trees passing the
Oh,
car.
dude,
Just
there's nothing.
constantly.
Yeah, dude, and that's where you think like, we think down here like, how the fuck does someone get lost in the woods? And then
Right.
you go up there and you're like,
I've got lost at
everything-
East Fork.
Yeah, everything looks exactly the fucking
It's
same.
easy, man.
Oh,
Hey, just turn left at the big tree.
you guys want another?
How big we
Sure.
talking?
Some
Oh, dude, these pumpkin ones are good.
pumpkin?
Get
What do you
another.
want? Stout.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah.
Give me a glass.
Okay. Yeah, finish your
Polish
beer.
this one off here.
Weak shit.
Pumpkin. And a stout.
You should try the
I need
pumpkin.
my fucking card out of there.
Oh yeah, we're using his wallet.
yeah.
We could just pause. We could probably pause the recording, unless you and I just want to record our banter.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll just talk about Bryan when he's not here.
Works for me.
Nice man.
What an idiot, dude. Obviously he was a bear.
He's got such a fat dick. What a loser.
I'm gonna use your cigarette box until he gets back.
Oh, well, let me grab a cigarette out of it
All
first. Then there's priorities. Yeah, I don't know. Like
Bryan's probably the most initiated when it comes to well, at least definitely cryptids.
Well, yeah, but
he has the most experiences.
He's actually interacting with people who are like History Channel specific, you know, like. But I think the trade-off though is like, because he's had more focus in cryptids, it means that he hasn't necessarily taken the time to focus more on like local folklore. And obviously, all of our backgrounds are like extremely different, both in our normal lives and also in our interest in the paranormal or the superficial. True. You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I can think of all the times of growing up.
I'd love to go squatching. That'd be pretty cool. I've never done that. I'd love to hear about if we can get access to the place where he saw the first one, because that's what it comes down to. Like, we could have all these awesome stories from antiquity. You know, like all these. We can buy all these books and do all this research about cryptids that people saw in the 70s or UFOs in Cincinnati that people saw in the 70s, but it's all for naught, because those are, at this point, you know, practically ancient.
Well, and particularly, I guess, like when you're talking about like UFOs or extraterrestrial, it's kind of hard to spend time sleuthing stuff like that, because most of them are sightings of something in the sky. Like, what was it, like 6 years ago, there was the whole, like, the 3 lights on fucking 75 North by Touchdown Jesus that were like floating around, and everybody like stopped their cars on the highway to film this.
Sure.
But it's like, how would you explore that now? You just go to the location and go, it was there once in the sky, like.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, right? Like, UFOs don't haunt a place. You know, the difference between like a UFO or aliens, that sort of paranormal, like those are usually one-offs, and oftentimes can be explained by like, you know, military experimental aircraft in the area, especially around here with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Well, and as we progress further and further in technology into the future, there's a lot more explainable things, like just fucking drone culture.
Sure.
You know, like, oh, like there's a light in the sky. Well, like, I don't know. I know some people who have drones, and those things fly really fucking high in the sky.
You saw
like
at the Super Bowl where they made the drones dance and like spell out things in the stadium. Like, people can do wild things with drones now to make them look like lights in the sky, and you know, you fly a bunch of drones in a circle with lights on them, and your brain kind of fills in the blanks about what could be on the other side of those lights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and that's just dependent on pre-exposure. You know, the more you hear about stories in your local area that develops curiosity, the more you're willing to say when you have a weird freak circumstance to go, oh, okay, cool, like this is probably it. Like,
but the cool thing about, you know, ghosts and haunts and cryptids is that like they're confined to an area. So like, well, especially haunts.
And there's a level of permanence too. Like,
that's what I mean. Like,
here's your beer.
Ghosts supposedly haunt the same building. Ooh, beers.
Different colors today.
Did you get a pumpkin?
That is definitely.
Did you get a pumpkin?
Black.
Yeah. You're gonna have to sip them and see which one's a pumpkin.
COVID.
Oh, I thought you said you got a pumpkin. This one's probably mine.
The COVID test, man.
I still have my fucking goddamn mask on. God,
that's delicious pumpkin beer.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Dude, God, it's fucking aggravating, dude.
Yeah, but the sad part is that is just going to be a figment of our future for a long time.
And I'm cool with it, but I just wasn't raised fucking Japanese, so it's just not built into me. I'm a fucking.
That is a part of the culture.
Fat white American dude. Everything
if you were raised Japanese, doing
literally
so
everything.
Spoiled.
The smallest inconvenience is
that drives me crazy.
Dude, if you were raised Japanese, our conversation about like inspecting like haunts and stuff would totally have way more of like a grounds in history.
But also they don't. It is very. Like against their type to like fuck with shit like that. They don't play that game, dude.
Well, they're way more in tune religiously into the idea of of lineage and how those things exist over time. Because you think of like Suicide Park in Japan, you know, like there's like hundreds and hundreds of
Hoibachi? No, Hoibachi I think is in Romania.
Oh, what's the name? It's got some long name. The Suicide Forest. It's
here. We're literally. I can.
Where the fuck's the Hoibachi?
Starts with a K. I can't remember.
Where do I get that name? The Hoibachi.
Hibachi Grill?
Yeah. It's a Hoibachi Forest.
Benihana? The Benihana Forest.
God, I'd go there. No, but what also I find like vastly...
It's the
shrimp? Like Benihana?
It's the Aokigahara... Oh, wow, hold on. I should be able to say this as much as fucking...
Or something like that?
It's Aokigahara is the Suicide Forest in Nurasawa.
Steve Aokigahara?
It's in Nurasawa, Fujikawa Guchiko.
Stop it.
There you go.
I'm not even kidding. Like the amount of consonants in that is just like is a fucking trip.
So
I love it.
What I find fascinating, why the fuck do like ghosts in different parts of the world like are viewed, seen, everything totally differently. Like look at the stereotypical Japanese ghost, how it's reported, how they're said to look and everything. Look at the American. You look at even native folklore shit. You look at shit in England, like, oh, it's the Victorian white lady, this and this. Right. But like, kind of when you like look at it, you're like, well, ghosts would look. They would all look kind of the same. No, but like, depending on like, yeah, but like,
I mean, you think like,
depending on how
like
people
in
fucking looked, you
in
know
like
what
a
I mean?
cinema
like,
depiction of ghosts. Obviously, you go like if it's a Western cinema, usually like you see a ghost, it's someone who's wearing like dated clothing into a different era that's localized to the country you live in.
Right.
So obviously, like. Different countries would have some variation to that, but that's also like how many people are really going around being like, "Oh, it's a ghost in fucking."
Here's what we were talking about before
1920s clothes.
Right? Was that like
sorry.
UFOs and stuff like that? They're like one-off events, right? So it would be impossible to be like, "Oh, if you go to this place,
you're gonna see
you can
this.
see some UFOs. You can go UFO hunting at this place."
Well,
But
I mean, you
ghosts,
can do it like Area 51. That's a pretty fucking
regular
fucking
but any places like that are pretty much known, at least in the States,
like,
are
dude,
pretty much
me and
like
Emily saw that
restricted.
shit. I remember we were going out to fucking Lawrenceburg to see Joan Jett and the Blackhearts play for free, and we saw.
So you literally saw aliens?
Yeah, Emily will fucking tell. Like Emily freaked the fuck out, but there were 3 fucking.
Is that the 75 North?
Fucking.
The 75 North story?
No, the 275, like westbound.
Was it it's like 275 westbound heading?
It turns
like,
into like 74 and shit.
Oh, okay.
But, like,
I remember when
on
it was on
275,
75.
but like 3 yellow-orange fucking lights in the sky, and they were moving like you could tell they were moving, but there was no sound, and it was like it was kind of like slower than like a jet or
Were
anything.
they those like lanterns that people?
No, it was
send
this.
out?
No,
because I've seen those before, and I was like, oh my god.
I mean, unless
we're
they
being
were
invaded.
unless
Be my
they were,
friend.
Like, it could have been
me up.
just because of how they were moving. Because there was like a central one, and it stayed in the same position. And the 2 on the outside would like almost stay fixed in like a triangle for like a couple seconds, and then they would like rotate around and move around and shit, and then go back, and then like, but there was no like pattern. They weren't flashing. There was nothing. They would just like move around, switch places. No rhythm to it.
We were talking about drones today, or before you came up, and how like that is going to affect so many people's like interpretations of sightings, right? Because they drones can do anything now.
Oh, and they got weird lights on them, green, blue.
Right, you can change colors, you can find any pattern. We're talking about the Super Bowl where they like spelled things out in the stadium.
Well, and particularly also when you consider drones and how there's the big legal argument about usage of them, you're going to have this period of time where you have a piece of technology that people have never been exposed to.
Amazon got approved for their shit. They got approved through the FAA.
But it's
wild,
like,
man.
you know, it's new
You're sitting on
technology
the
that we're
toilet
not
and you're
exposed
like,
to
I
seeing.
fucking need shit tickets. Click it, and all of a sudden you hear
It's gonna fly
in
into
the
your
front
house.
yard.
It knocks on your window.
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
And yes, dude, they're just gonna come in and wipe your ass for you.
I'm gonna sit out in my porch with a shotgun filled with birdshot. I'm just gonna.
See, that's another thing.
I was going to say, are you going to become like
Do
the
you
fucking
remember,
Europeans who are like shooting down all the 5G and all the birds in the sky because they think they're all the government?
Do you remember like when like back
too
when,
awesome.
when like ordering shit online was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna order this, and it's like, okay, you'll get it in like 2 weeks, and you're like, sweet. And now like Amazon's like, you'll get it in 3 days, and you're like, I fucking pay for Prime, mother.
Sometimes you get it in a few hours.
Yeah, but now, dude, 3 days, inexcusable.
Well, I like
Fucking
to think about how
ridiculous.
crazy it is how the consumer market of the internet has also affected turnaround. Because
yeah.
like when you remove like Amazon and shit, obviously, and you consider stuff like eBay, you know, like years and years ago, you bid on your shit, you win your fucking eBay, and then at some point your eBay delivery is going to get to you. But now because the internet is like pretty much an entity in itself to pretty much control when things done, I've ordered things on eBay that are like coming from like Taiwan, and they will be at my house in like 5 fucking days. And I'm like, man, like just
You guys
customs
haul
just open the
ass.
box and just go, yeah, it doesn't smell like a mob, move it. Like,
keep it through.
but then sometimes you get stuff coming from overseas into Europe, and they just cut all the fucking cables like
God,
we did.
you don't even fucking talk. It's
Customs
disgusting.
out of
That
control.
fucking pissed us off so
Don't
much.
look through my mail ever. I'd rather have anthrax than have customs look through my mail.
Did you
Well,
did you
well,
did you receive the Chinese seeds?
Oh no, I saw that thing. No, that's pretty
I'd
wild.
have planted them motherfuckers.
So would I.
Fuck yeah, dude. Free pumpkins.
I get
bro.
it. I
have
go,
you
I
ever
don't know why I have
drove
this, but
down, anywhere through Kentucky or like southern United States where that frickin' moss has taken over like every.
Kudzovine.
That has taken over like every. It's beautiful.
But do you know
looks
how
wild.
it happened though? It was originally kind of planned that. Oh, we are getting wildly off topic, but this is just bullshit.
there is no
bullshit.
topic
I
to this
know
conversation.
that like So they were having a bad.
That moss looks spooky. So
they were having a bad problem with like.
I'm scared.
With like the erosion off the fucking like ridge faces and shit.
No, they brought it intentionally.
They brought it to like, oh, this shit's gonna grow and it's gonna like
stabilize
anchor in. It's gonna stabilize the soil. Because they're having a bad problem with like lands, like rock slides.
Is it gonna stabilize our country
in general?
Huh?
Oh, dude, and now it's all over fucking Kentucky, parts of West Virginia, Tennessee. It's all over, dude.
Did you see they're gonna genetically engineer mosquitoes
Thank
and release them?
fucking God.
Okay,
well,
that's the plot of a horror movie.
I don't give
we
a
have
fuck.
Mosquito Man flying around
I don't
Florida.
give a
There's a new
fuck.
cryptozoological creature.
Yeah,
Dude,
fucking,
that's another
How do you
thing.
want to be
gotta
harpooned with
got
a
a fucking
3-foot-long mosquito
I'm gonna send
syringe?
you the creepiest fuck. Okay, I don't know if you dabble in like the ocean critter shit.
Sure.
I can't remember, like, it's the name of a fucking island, like a
Epstein's
rich,
Island?
yeah. It's a rich.
it's a pretty terrifying place.
I'd rather come into contact with the sea creature than that dude.
Mm-hmm.
But
Fight the Kraken rather than fight Epstein.
It's like this kind of, I don't know. It sounds like a hoity-toity fucking name.
He is the northern point of the Bermuda Triangle.
It sounds like a man and
That's
his
where
wife.
everybody disappears to, or at least the kids, I guess.
Sounds like a man and the wife are out on their boat, and you can see like movement in the water's like super dark, but you can't really see any detail, and the water's like super fucking murky, and all of a sudden you see like the water like over here, like on their left, like
all the alien looking
kind
thing.
of roll over, and they're like, oh, what the fuck, and then over here it like rolls over, like you can see like some disturbance,
sure.
And then like right in front of the fucking boat, dude, the best way I can describe it, it looks like if you could take like a snake's kind of body, but like scaleless, like it looks like clean, smooth black skin,
yeah.
But like coiled. It looks like something rolls out of the water that is coiled around something else. And
So
it
in
rolls in
other
the water,
words,
and the woman goes, oh, what?
Yeah,
Oh, go! Like she freaks out, and they get the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
But like just how the thing happened, dude, and it's that one was creepy, and that's the thing with dude.
Dude,
The ocean horrifies me.
Dude,
just
the ocean, we know less about the ocean than we do space.
the fucking moon, dude. We know more about the fucking moon.
We've been further north in the world than we've been south in the world.
Yeah.
There have been more people on the moon than at the bottom of the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
They discovered like 2 years ago that there's an ocean under the ocean.
Oh
And
yeah,
the
so
mantle,
there's a layer of like
cavernous
groundwater.
water.
Yeah, and
Filled
then
with
there's, and
diamonds,
there,
too.
What the
yeah,
fuck's in there?
there's a prehistoric
What's in
fucking
there?
dragon.
That
Well-
goes to mine and Ethan's Hollow Earth, dude.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
dude, the
fucking-
Hollow Earth's
me
out of control.
and
I don't
Ethan,
know.
no, dude, me and Ethan had a fucking music idea. We were gonna do like his sound installation shit,
Yeah.
and the project was gonna be called Hollow Earth, and we were gonna be like, kind of use that as like a basis for like that was gonna be like the story of the fucking thing, and
It was like pretty much writing like ambient music, and
But
then
we found
coming
like
with
cool
like
ass
narrative.
pictures, like old fucking map drawings, and I'm like, dude, that'd be like fucking
Hollow
dude.
Earth.
Yeah, I mean the
Hollow
Earth is round. Let's clarify that, like before anybody discredits our
I'm just
conversation.
saying. I'm
but-
just saying one
The
thing.
hollow flat Earth.
Antarctica, the entire place is a no-fly zone. I see why it's super hostile, but you can't go there. We cannot go
Sure,
there.
you can.
You cannot legally
Hey,
go
there-
to Antarctica.
Hey,
without
there
permission.
are people there
You can
playing
climb
Pokemon
mountains in
Go.
Antarctica. There's a mountain in Antarctica. It's called the.
Well, you have to ask for your government's permission to go there. You can't just fucking willy-nilly go.
Well, I think that has to do
We
with
buy
more.
a boat on government auction. We can go there.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
We're going
dude,
in the water
you
for a
cross
long
the
time.
literal most dangerous fucking sea passage in the fucking world from South
I
South
think that
America
has,
to Antarctica.
that has to do
is
with like
the
sovereignty,
worst.
though, because you're talking about a large mass of land that's not owned
Dude,
by
but
anybody,
the
that has
amount-
no government.
Well, you reach into the. Okay,
sound
I want you
terrifying.
guys to Google some shit. I want you to go back when you get home, and like when you're laying in bed or you're in the
no,
bathroom
not when I'm
jerking
laying in
off,
bed. I want to sleep.
fucking Google Operation High Jump.
High jump.
High Jump. We sent a full-on military envoy. I mean, troops, boats, everything, to Antarctica. Like something like 2,000 troops.
Well, it's to kill Predator. You saw them.
2,000
Yeah,
troops
I know,
to
right?
fucking Antarctica, and they go,
Dude,
they go.
you
It
think
was it was a like a. What, how do they describe it? It was a practice.
You
know,
think-
kind of
you
thing.
think-
we're just goofing
you
off.
think-
In case there's
And
an Antarctic
and
war.
I'm like, so you said 2,000 motherfuckers to go play like
Hey, whoa.
snowball
And
fight in
at
Antarctica?
the current
dude?
state of things, Antarctica is
Yeah, like come on, dude. I was
Antarctica
born
is
at night,
the
it wasn't
equivalent
last
to
night.
Australia in risk. Whatever country just militarily takes over it during war,
Oh,
just
yeah.
wins.
So that's the thing, but the UN was like, we can't militarize that, and the US went, shut up. Shut up.
Yes.
Clean
Shut
coal.
up.
We got
will.
clean coal. We can
will,
do it.
But we still will.
Oh God.
It's like when we
maybe the penguins were getting froggy. We need to keep them in check.
Yeah,
we talked to
it's the
like it's
frog
like
man.
when we talked to Denmark and we're like, hey, we want to build some shit in Greenland, and they're like, we don't want you to. And they're like, no, I don't think you like. We want to do it.
We're gonna do it.
So tell your guys to watch out, because we're gonna come over there.
Good lord. Yeah, maybe the penguins started sending us emails like, "Get off of our
Get
continents."
the fuck out. They just sent a picture of like a scientist's severed head, emailed it.
That's one thing though.
Just fucking holding it in a flipper.
You
No,
wanna
they're
see
just still
some-
walking around with the head in between their feet like they do their eggs.
Some real creepy
Bloody Feet, the
Happy
movie.
feet, happy feet, my ass.
Bloody Feet, the movie.
creepy mythology and cryptids from the Inuits, dude. Those are some wild stories. Look up the Mahaha,
That sounds horrifying.
also called the Tickler.
Didn't you do like an ancestor thing? You were like, I remember you told me you were like 0.something% like Inuit weird shit.
It was
some weird percentage. Like someone in your family fucked an Eskimo for sure, dude.
no, not an Eskimo.
There's a penguin somewhere in the
from
land, yeah.
Siberia.
Yeah.
Yakuts.
Yeah, someone
The
got
people that live in the coldest.
someone got him some
I definitely
fur.
didn't get that gene. 'cause
Someone
I'm
got him
pussy when
some.
it comes
Someone
to
got him
cold.
some fur babe up there, dude.
Right, exactly.
But there's a, I think it's more of a myth than a cryptid, but it's called the Tickler. In Inuit, it's like the Mahaha, and like
Is
it's
that the
supposed to
sound
like.
it makes while it's tickling you?
I think that's sort of like a onomatopoeia, like a transcultural, like everyone mahahas.
It's the
every
boogeyman
language
thing?
mahahas, but yeah, like it tickles you till you die.
Jesus fucking
Which is-
Christ.
Probably like on my list of fears now. I didn't have that fear until I read
Until
the
you
story.
read it. You immediately
No, dude.
started wanting to laugh.
It's like,
and you're
no,
like,
and that's
"Ah,
another
no."
thing too. You get into those like native kind of cultures, because I consider like those like, because I mean even Native Americans, they crossed the like land bridge thousands of years ago, so they were originally from that area. But like my great grandma, God rest her soul, she's a creepy bitch. But she was a darker. No, she was. She scared the fuck out of me. I appreciate her more now than I did as a kid. As a kid, I didn't want to be around her.
Was that the grandma that was
Yeah, she
married
was
to
like-
your grandfather who had the stroke?
No. That was my mom's side. She was like, my great grandma was like, everyone says like half Shawnee, half Cherokee. That's what I heard. I don't think she was full blooded.
So
she was
Sha-
definitely.
She was Schnicke.
Yeah, she was definitely some percentage, because she had that. No one in my family has black hair. She had black peppery fucking hair.
Mm-hmm.
Kept it in fucking braids. She was way darker than everybody else. And her fucking stories, dude. I can remember everybody. We'd be down there, and all the great grandkids would be in the living room watching this old ass fucking like
Everybody get a carpet
ancient
square.
TV, ancient black and white TV, and all the adults would be like, all right, we're gonna go get food. And it was usually fucking Long John Silver's for some goddamn fucking reason.
Oh god.
But
I like Long John Silver's.
no, I'm a Captain D's man, dude.
Those hush puppies.
I'm a
though.
Captain D's.
No,
Does Captain
I-
D's have a hush puppy? I never had Captain D's.
Fuck yeah,
No.
you never fucking had Captain D's.
All
right, well, the conversation's over.
I'm a hook, fish, and chicken person. That's pretty much my extent
Hook,
of like
fish,
getting
chicken's
fish from a
amazing.
Surf
place.
and turf.
Yeah.
But,
The cheap man surf and
No,
turf.
well,
She,
I just remember going to Long John Silver's as a kid
so
and just like
fucking
getting the big SeaWorld fucking Slurpee cups that had the patterns on the side to go to like
Oh
SeaWorld.
fuck.
Back when we loved
This is
seeing
prior
whales getting
Blackfish.
abused, but
All right, Brian, keep talking about your
I'm
creepy
Yeah,
sorry.
but
grandma.
she
I
would just
digress.
tell fucking weird ass fucking, and she would do it at like the worst fucking moments, because her house as is was creepy as fuck.
Sure.
And so we'd all be sitting there, and all of a sudden she would like, you hear a weird. She always had something creepy as fuck to say about everything. And I remember one time where I can't remember who was there with me. I was little. I was like 6 or 7, and my mom was like, "Oh, I'm leaving food, and you better listen." I guess I was being a little shit that day, so she left, and my grandma was like doing some like. She was either sewing something or doing some shit with like some beads or something. And she like leans up in her chair. She always sat in this fucking chair. She leans up and she goes, "You better listen to your mom." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry, Grandma." And she's like, "No, because if you don't, there's a spirit will come and take you up out of your bed and shit and off into the woods." I'm like,
You listen to your mom.
I'm like, "You creepy old fucking
Into the
cunt,
woods?
dude. Why the fuck?
this is like some ritual shit.
Why
dude.
the fuck would you say?" And then she would tell stories like
Is it the fucking tree
like a
spirit?
snake. Like there was like whenever you go to like the rivers and shit and like all the hills and shit in Kentucky, like a snake did that. Like way back, there was a snake that like that was the mark it left when it
like
carved
the
everything. Like, dude,
Yggdrasil or whatever.
she just fucking
the fucking
she
worm
had
of the
just
earth.
weird fucking weird stories to every fucking thing, man. And that house, dude, was fucking horrifying. That was that. Remember I told you that story of he'd have been my like great uncle. Everyone was out of town and he had to like fix like a part of the floor or some shit in the house. So he's asleep in one of the bedrooms, and so he had his sawhorse and a circular saw set up in the hallway. He said it was like 2, 3 in the morning. He's asleep in bed, and all of a sudden the circular saw kicks on.
Uh-oh.
And he's like, what the fuck? And he jerks up out of bed, and he says he comes out in the hallway, and he said that there's like a figure over the fucking sawhorse with the saw. And he said when it looked up, its eyes looked like TV static.
And then the next day he was
was
on the news.
He ran to his fucking house like a mile, or his trailer, a mile the fuck away. But that house, dude, was just, you can ask everyone in my family, like, oh, remember great grandma's house? Everyone's like, fuck that place. It's just.
Where'd they live? They live like way out in the country or something?
Down in, there's all my whole family lives in Hazard, Kentucky, and like they live in the part called Couchtown. That's what all my
Couchtown.
Is it like out there? Like, is it? Because that's sort of like the
3.5 hours from here.
Well, you guys are talking about how different ghosts are in different cultures, but there's like commonalities that like people that live out in the country, or when we're talking about liminality, you know?
Yeah. Like the traffic route. Did we mention that while we were on the actual mic? I don't know.
What got me too is like down there how frequent. Well, we heard about like everyone talks about panthers down there in Kentucky, and they talk about it like a black cat, but like a black big cat. But another thing that always got me, and my grandma fucking told me all the time, and I carried it to my boys too, was she always like, whenever we were down there, oh, the witchy woman's gonna get you. Witchy woman's gonna get you. This is the witchy woman. Oh, and so that was like a fucking thing. And she
don't you
said,
make fun of the Eagles? Get out of here.
She said that like as a kid, that was like pounded into their fucking head that they were like old weird motherfucker. And there probably were some weird people that lived out in the fucking woods, and that they were practicing some fucking juju shit.
It's called making moonshine.
Yeah, no, they were practicing some fucking juju shit, and don't fuck with them. But it was crazy how that like folklore story. When that's saying like growing up, you see like you watch Hocus Pocus as a kid. Everyone fucking loves that goddamn movie. So witches are kind of like laissez blah in today's society. But I remember growing up like. Well,
I mean, we did it historically. We had an era of burning them.
Witches were like a fucking legit scary fucking thing. The same as like ghosts and zombies and all that shit. I was like, legit afraid of them. And that's why I fucking love the fact that like the movie The Witch, when it came out, it brought that shit back. It brought that like.
It made witches cool again.
It made it
great again.
Yeah, it made
witches great again.
It un-Hollywooded them and made them fucking. It brought out that primal fucking fear, because you gotta remember back in the day, like that shit didn't. They weren't killing people for the fuck of it. They were genuinely afraid. They were. Right. I'm not justifying what they did. What they did was horrible, but
historically it happened.
They were legitimately afraid of what they could do.
Witches were made like evil by the Christian tradition.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! Because what you had your witch, anything that was identified as like a paganistic fucking view, like any kind of paganistic,
which is retarded.
Any type of like earth-based faith, like as soon as Christianity swept in, it just everything of that. Like okay, when you picture the devil, what image pops in your fucking head?
Spiky tail horns.
Spiky horn guy, blah blah blah.
Oh, I picture the Adventures of Mark Twain Satan, because that thing's fantastic.
But it was what they took our depiction, like I say they took the European depiction of like Pan and all that shit.
Right.
Those became the devils.
You know where other influences for the devil came from?
That was like Greek and everything else.
They were racist. They gave them attributes that they associated with Jews. Mm-hmm. Which is fucked up.
Absolutely, dude. We got to figure that was the ancient world. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get into some sketchy shit.
Well, but then you also consider like when they started depicting the devil like in a satyr.
But back in
you always had like the extremely curly buttons and stuff. Yeah,
that's
like very
pan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, because there was always that ideology of like the devil kind of being like the goat,
the cloven hoof.
Yeah,
and that's what's crazy to me is like you look into
the Baphomet.
Yeah, you look into pagan shit, and it is honestly, to me, it is one of the most beautiful. Paganism is not like. That is a very broad term. There are numerous faiths that fall into paganism, but it is
very bastardized.
Very bastardized, but it is a pretty faith, because it is literally the people back then were like, it is physical it is of the fucking earth. It is of the natural fucking earth.
What makes paganism beautiful and interesting is the fact that paganism is the purest form of religion, because you were talking about
there was nothing threatening about it.
You have nothing threatening. There's nothing political about it. There's nothing that's ascertained to change in economic or change in control or change in power. Like you think of like Catholicism,
you had the sun,
Christianity,
the moon, the water, the trees, and those were things. And Christianity was like, you can't have all those beings are evil.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then you take Christianity, and Christianity now is like written in like to Constitution. You know, like how many of like the modern Satanist movement of like the argument of separation of church and state? You don't have a separation of church and state with paganism. I'm sure there's an idea of like a church for paganism, but paganism at its core roots is what Christianity probably was at one point.
It's like that part of Hellier when they're like, there's no altar to Pan. There's no altar. Like the altar is. That is the altar. You go. You
live in the altar.
You find the altar. Like that's why they went into that cave. They found a space that they felt right in, and I feel like to me that is. See, when you talk shit like that, dude, for some reason it chimes with me on that weird spiritual level. Where I'm not a spiritual dude, but for some reason it's. I don't believe in it literally, but to me the beauty in that is something else. There's something to that is like organic almost. It is something in the human spirit. Like when you go out in all those cheesy fucking Tumblr bitch posts that are like, oh, go into the woods and find yourself and this. No, but yeah, like that we see that as cheesy and bullshit. But like,
go walk in the woods.
But go do it. Yeah, go really do it. When you go out there and like when you're out there and there's nothing around, your phone ain't fucking going off every fucking 60 seconds because your friends can't shut the fuck up on Discord. Is like
pretty much every day of our lives.
It's no, but it's this.
Discord.
Oh, welcome to the black hole, dude. I've muted so many of those channels on that.
Literally, I go mute.
I got one. We can all join mine.
That's fine.
They literally will just go into politics.
We'll do the
Spoopy boys
channel.
But
Spoopy Spawn.
I don't know. It's weirdly there's something. I can't describe it. There's something else to that serenity.
Well, you know
there's
what
something humanistic to that serenity. There's like. Something that you tune into, man.
Yeah, well, there's a feeling of pure pacifism in particular situations, and I'm sure it varies dependent on people's like upbringing and circumstances. But like I've told you before, like there's been a number of times in my life where I've had more being raised Catholic and then just like completely abandoning Catholicism after doing too much fucking research about it. There's something like. For me, there was one. I can't remember where we were. It was like in northeastern Ohio, but there was at one point where like we pulled over before we crossed the bridge. We were like visiting my grandma, and we were along a river somewhere up there. I do not know. And there was a point of it where like my mother's like sitting in the car, probably having vertigo, and my dad and I got out of the car because it was like this wide fucking river, and him and I walked down in the river, and for like 20 minutes, him and I did not speak a fucking word.
You don't have, dude. In those moments, you don't have to.
Yeah, there was this level of like tranquility where you kind of felt like. I don't want to get on like fucking trains. Go fuck yourself.
It's a ghost train.
It's a ghost train.
You get real estate for a real good price on this area.
No. Yeah, I'll continue the story once this thing fucking passes because we know how long this shit fucking lasts.
Well, they say that. You know, what do you call a religion where you sort of see the divinity in the natural world and in everything?
But that in itself is
a pantheist.
But pan, yeah. And dude, okay, I told Emily when we started this shit. I've said it for years. But like, you see all these rituals being done and shit, and I was like, I wanna do one. I want to do a few. I want to do them. And she's like, well, why? I was like, I want to see if I feel anything. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a fucking religious dude. That's the thing. I grew up Southern Baptist and mildly fucking Catholic. And so like, I got this mixed fucking, charcuterie board of fucking bullshit. And I got out of it completely. Like none of it. It got to the point where none of it made sense to me. And so now I'm like, I want to sample. A little bit of your. I don't care to do fucking some Creole fucking voodoo shit.
You can just become a Jedi like you did in the military.
Sample from you, yeah. I want to sample all this shit and see, because maybe one day something will do something, and I'll go, I felt that. You never fucking know.
Well, now here's a follow-up question. Sure. So like, as I was saying, there was like a weird moment of tranquility, and my dad and I have always had like a weird, I don't want to say like conversation with bodies of water. Like, because my dad's a fisherman and I'm not really, I don't know how to hold a fish, I suck. But, there's kind of a weird argument that has that, like, a purity of emotion and how culturally we've kind of stepped away from that as we moved into the technological age. Yeah. Like, I don't want to say, like, the grand question is, when is the last time you felt happy? Yeah. But, like, in a weird, like, general sense, like, how many times in your life had you had an experience where you felt so purely in the moment that at that moment you did not think about anything else.
There's nothing else going on.
And like me, I think of that one fucking road trip of just like standing by the water, and it was the only time that I could possibly think of where my brain literally went, wow, this is an extremely peaceful moment, and there was nothing else going on mentally.
To me, there's that tranquility and
dude. And I know like people talk about ley lines and talk about like the alignment of the planets and all this other shit. You know, but this kind of...
I feel like water has a lot to do, because you got to figure that's how we
like fluidity.
That's always played such a big role in the human experience is water. And then to me, so like the big places you experience those kind of like awe moments where you're like you're calmly and you're quietly in awe, like not only outwardly but inwardly, is like when you're at the fucking ocean, like a quiet beach, and like that is fucking awe-inspiring. When you're like on the fucking mountains and like you're just looking out into that nothingness, and that's fucking all. There's part and there's a weird trend to that, because it's always like, you go to New York City and you see the big fucking buildings and all this shit, and you're like, oh wow, you know, that's one thing. But to like,
the only
when
thing,
you're in awe of like the fucking, you know, motherfucking earth, dude. You're in awe of like the whole story of us and the whole story of fucking everything here. That to me, there's something damn near fucking tangible to it, and I think that's
there's the
because
story
we talk
like
about getting into the
permanence,
metaphysical shit. That's that shit I'm chasing. I'm like, why is it that there's something in us? You know, that's why like all the fucking native cultures,
like primal.
This is your fucking mother. Like this, the earth. You come from this.
Right.
You come from this. So there's a reason we have such a fucking insane connection to it, and it's so swept under the rug and almost like avoided in nowadays, because how often do you fucking take a hike? How often do you do this? Some people do it more than others.
Well,
but
not even
truly. How often?
Not
do you
even
get
considering
the fuck out there?
like outdoor exploration, but like you consider the idea of like how much time do you give yourself to necessarily exist in your own head?
Yeah, to just be,
you know, like
to
be in a moment, to be in an experience, to be in a reality. Like, you know,
we're
constantly connected to each other via mobile devices, via signals, via connections.
I feel like our
put on the aluminum fucking
foil
hats. Let's go.
I feel like our minds have gotten ahead of ourselves. We've advanced further than we.
Right.
Than we really want to be.
We as a species have developed to the technological age, to the fact that we were always looking towards tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's
always. You were always
next.
We were raised with the idea of the obsession of advancement, the obsession of further placement, if it's either by career, personal life, etc., romance, whatever. You know, and we constantly live in this state that no matter what we do today, we are specifically making decisions because we feel like somehow that's going to revise what's happening tomorrow. And like, at what point do we just...
You gotta escape that shit, because that's why, like, me and Emily, like, everyone wants that nice big house, the nice car, like, everyone wants that shit. And I told her, like, when we moved in there, like, it isn't a fucking fantastic house, but I'm like, she would tell me all the time, she goes, and that's why me and Emily fucking vibe super fucking weird on shit. Like, everyone's like, oh, there's a soulmate out there forever. No, I truly think that, like, when you have a connection with someone, it's a weird fucking click. And she'd just be like, I just like love this house, and I'm like completely fine with this house. Like it feels right. And I'm like, I feel that too. Like I have no desire in my fucking body. And it's not like, oh, you have no ambition. It's not fucking that. I want to provide for my children, my family, but like the whole that want thing has like quickly fucking kind of simmered. Like it's kind of that whole fire's died down, and then now it's just like, now I'm going with it, dude. I'm just fucking going with it.
You're talking about borrowing principles from other theologies and whatnot. Like that's the Buddhist principle, right? Is that desire is the seed of all unhappiness. You know, like it's like all of your unhappiness comes from wanting things you don't have instead of accepting the things you do have.
Right.
Dude, look how fucking fortunate. Like, we live like fucking... I can shit in a fucking porcelain bowl and make the shit go away.
Derek talked about this
Like,
yesterday.
dude, how fucking... If you'd have shown that to some motherfucker 600 years ago, they'd be like, you're a witch, you are a fucking... No, you're a god. Like I can summon food to my house. I can,
sculpted in the pantheon.
That's what Derek said.
Like, dude.
He's like, everything's about perspective, because... you know, he's like, we live better than any king ever could have lived.
Dude, castles were shitholes. Castles were gross shitholes. And now we live in these, like, we live in a 2-story house or an apartment or this. We go, man, this place sucks.
Yeah.
You could have been like,
you have air conditioning.
Yeah.
You can make it cold inside. You can go, it's too stuffy in here,
Yeah.
and just crank it down. You can go like, well, my Wi-Fi went out for 5 minutes. This fucking sucks. Like, it's stupid.
Well, I mean, that's a black hole of a conversation.
Spoiled. We're way too spoiled.
Well, we're spoiled because we're spoiled because we're in the world of accessibility.
Oh God, don't do it.
Everything in our lives is accessible by literally a black rectangle, the magic box that's in your fucking pocket.
That just sit
like,
on.
oh, like I'm out of toilet paper, boom, problem solved. I didn't have to schedule a trip
Check
on
your
a fucking horse or by
Dylan.
foot to go to some vendor who fucking is whittling this fucking toilet paper for me to scratch my ass with. You know, like it's this level of accessibility.
The modern world's great, but
you.
we need it. We as a people, we need it in such moderation, dude. In such moderation.
I think our electronic devices are absolute fucking brain poison. I think it's killing the human experience.
Dude, and that's another thing. Like, I never had a fucking Twitter. I dodged that shit. I got Facebook.
See, I have the Twitter, but I don't have the Facebook.
I got Facebook just because I got toxic tendencies and I like to argue with people sometimes. But it's mainly like, hey, like I got family all over the fucking United States, and I gotta stay in contact with them and like old friends and shit. But, like, I delete, like, my big one was fucking Instagram. Like, I love seeing like people's cool shit, like retro game shit. Like, I was interested in me.
I mean, that was pretty much the sole reason.
Dude, I got my new phone, and I'm like, it's like, oh, what, it's like, oh, should we restore all these apps, or you want to select the ones you want to restore? And I'm like, I clicked all of them. I'm like, don't restore Instagram. Like, I don't fucking. I did nothing on it.
Which is
I
owned
did
by
nothing.
Facebook, by the way.
No, but I did nothing. No, I don't even have the Facebook app. I just use it on the web browser.
Well, and
that way I can I don't get notified every 30 fucking seconds.
That's a different concept in theory on the fact that.
But you get
the further we advance into technology, and the further we promote these habits of people comparing themselves to each other, the further you promote people who do not achieve that or go against the grain to develop into voyeurs. Yeah. Because also, you and I did the same thing. We were doing Instagram, we were posting stuff, we were trying to develop followers, etc. But you eventually reach this point where you go, I'm tired. And
here we are trying to fucking start a fucking documentary escapade.
Yeah,
but
please,
nothing wrong with media.
Please look.
I just mean it as like habitually. You and I got to the point where we were just like, what things can we purchase? What things can we do that is just cool to post on your Instagram to say, look at this thing in my collection.
That's toxic.
Media is fine if it conveys truth.
Yeah, but
if it doesn't convey truth, then it's not. That's not.
You don't get anything from it. You don't get anything from it.
But media no longer contributes truth when you have something that is already specifically adjusting truth in accordance to you. Yeah. Your social media, your usage of Google, etc. All of these different avenues. This is gonna be some Snowden shit. All these different avenues of media are specifically.
We started at paranormal stuff.
This is open. The open forum. All these things are paying attention to you, and they're pretty much keeping a Wikipedia on Dylan. And the Wikipedia of Dylan says that this is your political ideology. This is the things you're interested in. And it's that joke of being like, if the three of us go on Google and we look up Cheetos, like I might find something about like the creation of Cheetos chemically because of my career. You might find something about the flavor comparison of Cheetos, and you might find how the Cheetos is like the new liberal movement in the world.
Why?
No, but I mean,
there's nothing more egalitarian than Cheetos.
But I mean, like you rewind this 20.
Love Cheetos.
When you think of the internet 20 years ago,
if
we all looked up Cheetos, it was all just based on code and algorithms determining what's the most popular thing related to Cheetos. And now we've entered this world where you're starting to sculpt the experience of the digital reality to everybody in order to try and encompass and get sales.
That's the issue. So we are, I think the seed of most unhappiness in Western culture is everyone's separating themselves from nature. Because everyone's getting absorbed into their devices.
One more?
Yeah, we can do another beer.
Sure.
There's always room
for
more beer.
We got like an hour.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like one more.
We actually started fucking earlier today.
No, we got here later.
What does everybody want?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
I want a pumpkin thing.
Whatever fucking IPA they got on there. Actually, give me the fucking Pilsner. I don't want to get too heavy.
A Pilsner?
Yeah, give me whatever Pilsner they got.
That pumpkin's fire.
I can't do pumpkin. That shit'll fuck me up, dude.
Give me the poops.
Probably.
Pumpkin gives you
My
the poops.
asshole never coordinates with me.
It's September. You gotta.
Dude, that's what
everything.
that's what's
getting.
Beer,
that's what's getting old is, dude. When all of a sudden, like one day you wake up, you're like, me and my asshole just are no longer on the same team.
And I've told
we're not like we're just like we're roommates that don't talk. You know what I mean?
My 30th birthday was realizing that I just have to accept the fact that the things I enjoy in life I just medically can no longer consume.
It's like my buddy Brad. Shout out Bradley. He turned me on to fucking Metamucil.
Yeah, like
Metamucil is like the sand of God.
It is the Threshold podcast, sponsored by Metamucil. You guys like the name The Threshold? I think it's cool.
I dig it.
I agree with it.
The Threshold.
It's the
let's Thornwood Elemental, man.
No, but
like,
dude, I want to take you to the threshold of like what you can do. Like,
it's got a lot of interpretations.
You can,
I think it's a good word.
Take it for how you want it.
Well, I also think it's a cheap cop out to pretty much put together a thing and pretty much say that, hey, like, let's talk about paranormal, but then let's talk about dude stuff and talk about our fucking assholes for fucking hours.
Dude,
fantastic.
We talk about the fucking. We're talking about
it's about ghosts and assholes.
The occult. The fucking paranormal shit, the cryptid shit, metaphysical shit, and your fiber intake. You gotta have your right amount of fiber.
Eat your psyllium husk.
And you gotta have it.
And go see a fucking doctor.
And also try some fucking Norwegian brown cheese, dude. That shit is godly.
Brown.
Yeah, it's called brown nose.
We plug things
then
we
it will
like?
not clog you up.
Let's plug things we like.
As we can see that very
Beef,
minuscule
fucking
$1 dollars come in.
Shout out to Tascam Digital Recorders. This podcast is being recorded on one. Sponsor me. I want more of them.
You can sponsor.
Yeah.
Listen to Dylan. Listen to that.
This is where the cast is just
also Swine City. Like, this is our like second time here.
We should drink for free.
2 weeks.
I'll bring my guitar. We'll entertain the
play
three
music
people.
here.
I'm half tempted to just go in there and be
whoever
like,
brews
hey,
the beer, we'll
juggle
juggle the nuggets, dude. We'll get a little weird. We're adventurous. We'll take.
Let me just swim around in Nevada a little bit.
Take you to your threshold.
Call it the G spot. The ghost G spot.
The ghost spot.
We're not turning this into like an ASMR fucking thing where it's
I can put it in ASMR mode.
Oh,
it literally we're not.
You can do it.
I don't feel like being
We could have
aroused on a
Brian
weird
Wednesday.
clicky
whispering
noises.
sweet nothings into the left ear.
Yeah, he'll just tell
and
stories about
whispering
Bigfoot
sweet
and
nothings
really
into the right ear.
whispers.
Suck on it.
How do you feel about beer? How do you feel about mine?
Like and subscribe. Comment below.
Comment below.
No,
Dude, don't forget to hit the bell notifications and dude, oh my fucking god. My fucking children, no, my fucking kids.
Pilsner,
Braden,
pumpkin.
well, Caleb's not my kid. He's damn near my fucking kid. They will say that shit. They will literally be like walking around the house like acting like they're doing YouTube videos and be like, "Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon." I'm like,
no.
get the fuck.
I'll tell you
out,
one thing
man.
though.
Go watch Gargoyles, dude. Get in touch with yourself, man.
Went to film school. Not a single class on how YouTube works. I have no idea. I don't know how it works.
I mean, I know we might dabble, but I'm gonna talk to my buddy, dude. My kid I went to school with, Cody. I'm gonna see how like you get on, cause like, dude, I'm not kidding. Prime is gonna be it.
Oh, Prime, you can just put shit on there.
Prime's gonna be it. You have to fill out your shit, but like, it's easy to get on there.
I worked on a show that's on there.
It's easy to get on there.
Yeah, you just have to.
So that would be the platform to attack.
We could do 10 stories. I kind of have an idea.
What would you shoot for, like, time-wise? Like, are we going 30, 45 hours?
I know a girl. Oh, for the episodes?
Like, what are we trying to?
I think 30. 45 is difficult.
Really?
Well, maybe it depends. Well, that's the cool thing about Prime. You could have one episode that's 30 minutes long.
Yeah, you don't have to have
You could have one episode that's an hour and a half.
Yeah, you don't have to have.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. That's why streaming is awesome. TV can fuck right off, unless they want to pay me money.
Dude, I got interviewed for that one fucking show. It was gonna be that
Bigfoot shit?
It was gonna be a Bigfoot show on Spike.
Shout out to Spike TV.
Yeah. God, I forgot about that. But I think it was Spike, but like I had to do like a video fucking conference call. I had to like bust out Emily's laptop. I'm like, I need your fucking camera and all this shit and set up, and I do like the interview, and they're like, and they asked weird shit, dude. It was nothing like, because you kind of have this like preconceived notion of like, oh, we interviewed for a TV show. They're like, what nicknames do you go by? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then
Brian's squat.
Yeah, she was also,
man,
and like
Schnicke.
I kind of had a fucking itchy throat at the time, so I'm like, I kind of coughed a lot. She goes, do you cough a lot naturally? I'm like, no, like it's like.
Oh, it was like a casting session.
Yeah, I'm like, it's late
That's
fall, like
stupid.
it's like late fall, early December, like or early.
Were they trying to make
winter.
you a nickname?
No, they were just like, do you have, like, they wanted someone who was like, oh, I go by.
They want quirky people.
I go by fucking the Punisher. You know what I mean? They wanted some fucking cool, dumb shit. And, like, I didn't have anything. I was like, I go by, like, Bryan, like, the dudes at my fucking work call me fucking Junior just because I'm the youngest fucking guy there. Like, dumb shit like that. And then they were like, the one thing that, like, almost got me, they're like, so what's, like, your experience and your involvement? I'm like, well, I've been hunting a whole fucking, like, I know animals. I know a fuckload about animals and all this shit. Like, I can track and I'll do all this shit. And, like, I'm very fucking familiar with the whole Bigfoot world and a lot of the people.
That's kind of a cool character as it is.
People involved with it, and
you're that guy from Walking Dead.
And she was like, the one thing she was like, "Well, you're the youngest person we've had on video call all day."
Junior.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Holy fuck, I can get this." She's like, "Oh, we'll email." And I never got an email back, but like, still, like, that was the one time, like, me, like the team I used to be a part of. Shout out, Tri-State Bigfoot.
Tri-State Bigfoot.
Jay, we're coming for you, and everybody else. Adrian, Keith, all you guys.
Are you actively a member in that thing?
I'm still, we're still a team. It's just we lost.
I'll work with him.
No, Jay, you'll love Jay. Jay's a cool
Do
fucking
they have cameras
dude.
and shit?
Jay's got a fuckload of equipment. Jay's got trail cams, everything. Jay's got trail cams, everything. And Jay lives out down 32. He lives in that hot spot. Him, his wife.
Jay's the guy that was on Finding Bigfoot?
No, Jay's my buddy that we did the Tri-State shit with.
Oh, okay.
Adrian's the one I went out with to Salt. That's another thing. If you're down next year, let's go out to Salt Fork. That's where everyone goes.
I can't believe you haven't been back to the spot where you saw the Bigfoot.
I quit, dude. After my fucking dad died, I quit going out there. I quit hunting there. I quit hunting there. That's the thing. I lost all contact. I'd have to hope my mom size the dudes. Literally, the only thing I can do, I know exactly where the farm is. Like, I could drive out there.
You can look it up on public record.
Yeah, I could look it up there and see if the guy's still there. But once he died, dude, my whole life got put in a paint shaker, dude. Literally and figuratively, it got all fucked up.
You were literally in a paint shake?
I mean, I work in automotive.
Oh, you work in paint?
I work in automotive paint. So fuck you, Dylan. I thought it was a good fucking euphemism.
I didn't get it. I thought it was
a fucking good euphemism.
It was fire.
No, but I don't know. It was
shout out to the paint company.
Yes, shout out to Technol Performance Paints. That's the only.
Performance Paints.
Yeah, but like, I could, like, dude, my whole fucking little team. Like, I was the young one, but it was like they were all like really level-headed fucking people, really down to earth, and like that's what I liked. I don't like the fucking Bigfoot people that chase like the metaphysical realm. Like, if it's out there, it's a fucking animal. It's a flesh and blood fucking animal.
That's the weird thing.
Are we still on ASMR? So, the pumpkin blue and the Pilsner blue.
What we
so
get?
everybody got blondes.
Okay,
that's cool.
I figured at this late
Beer's
in the hour,
good.
I'm not going to start
I prefer
getting
beer
heavy
over not
shit
beer
for people, because then we'll just feel like garbage.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I dig it.
No, but
we're talking about people that are. So there's like two camps, I guess. There's people that believe that Bigfoot is a physical animal in the woods, and there's people that believe that it's like a metaphysical manifestation.
And that like goes into like a lot of your native people will attribute
like a spirit.
No, well they will attribute like spirit like qualities to it, like, oh, it can shapeshift.
They attributed spirit qualities to the deer and everything.
They did, and that's kind of like their thing. That's their shtick. But like, I can understand it with Bigfoot because like with reports and shit, you'll have people that'll say, oh, like, I was looking over here and didn't see nothing, and all of a sudden I look back and it was there. Like, the one thing, I can't remember where I heard the quote from, but I think I mean he's kind of a fucking hotbed of controversy, really, is the guy Todd Standing, and I appreciate what he's doing. I'm not gonna fucking say whether or not I fucking believe his stuff and everything. What I think is his stuff needs to be looked at. It needs to be fucking scrutinized justly and everything else. But he had this one part, I can't remember who said it. He deals a lot with the First Nations people up in Canada, and what quote that was said that like it rung so true. It's like, you come from your cities of steel and glass, and try to tell me that like what I'm seeing is, or what I believe is not real, and shit like that. And how like we as people have lost all fucking touch with the woods. These things, like, that is their entire existence, is being masters of that environment.
Yeah.
And we've lost that. We no longer have that ability. And so that's what I find hilarious is you go to fucking You go downtown Cincinnati, mention Bigfoot to 10 people and see what you get.
Think you're a kook.
And see what you get.
Yeah.
And that's where that quote rings true. You come from your cities of steel and glass, and you try to judge something you know absolutely fucking nothing about.
There were some psychologists, they did this study. It was like, they asked some kids that lived in the city, they said, name 10 animals.
Oh, God.
And they named like giraffe, gorillas, lions, tigers, bears, you name it. And then they asked 10 kids out in the country, or they asked kids out in the country, name 10 animals. Deer, raccoons, possums. You know, people aren't in touch.
They're no longer in tune with what's around.
I bet if you went to like New York City or
pigeons,
pigeons,
but I bet those people are just
homeless people and pigeons.
They're just so spiritually devoid of like.
You've lost touch. That's because what's fucked up with me.
Like those Wall Street bankers, I bet they're the most unhappy fucking people.
Because like I was fortunate, I grew up down in like North College Hill, like what is the fucking ghetto.
Sure.
But like we were down in Kentucky 3-4 times a year, so I got that, and then my dad took me fucking hunting and fishing all the time, and I was around my grandparents 24/7.
Sure.
So like I retained, even like I grew up there till I was like 11 or so, and then moved out of that area, moved more out in like what would be like suburbia, but like you like even like having that influence in your life of people that are still grounded in that world is still enriching. It's still, you get shit from it, and that's the thing with, to me, is like that's what it irritates me, that like the whole Bigfoot thing, how it's like it's scoffed at, but science is about like, science at its core is about the unknown and knowing the unknown. And so why is the possibility laughed at? Like why is it like fucking like Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a fucking insanely intelligent person. He's done shit with like the fucking dermal ridging and all this shit, and he put his fucking whole career out there, dude.
Yeah. His
whole career, and he's like, based on the evidence
that experience? Is that why?
I think he's had like one personal experience, but like he's like the guy, bring me your evidence and I judge it for what it is. And I judge it for what it is. So like he staked his whole career on it, and his whole thing is like, hey, I'm an expert at this shit. Look what this evidence shows. Plain and simple. And that's what he judged on. He judged it for what it fucking was. Evidence is evidence, and you can attribute whatever bullshit you want to it, but if you have a footprint that has fucking goddamn, you know, lack of a better word, toe prints and footprint, you know, markers, the key characteristics in it, that comes from a living being. And then that's another thing too, like hair samples, dude. We have found fucking hair samples
that aren't any native animal.
That when they test, they come up as unknown. How fucking frustrating is that, to have fucking hair? Have the fucking hair.
With you can
hold it.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, it doesn't match anything. And you go, it's Bigfoot. And they go, oh, but it's not.
Right.
It comes from
Nobody wants to be the kook.
It comes from an animal that is unknown to science.
Nobody wants to be the crazy person.
And yet they go, it could be dude. And to me, it is fucking infuriating.
Just remember, on the backside of that, though, we can understand our entire lineage of our family from the genome, but we can't determine hair.
That's the problem with this whole thing, is like, everyone like involved like knows at an intuitive level that the shit's real, and then it's trying to explain it to people that are completely removed from the issue. So it's like, you fucking seen something you thought was a Bigfoot. Right, and then you have people that have the hair, that have the footprints. I have my personal experience with ghosts. I don't know what Ethan has.
I have somebody that literally, they're like, oh, I fished with my grandpa every weekend. Those kind of redneck dudes. You know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. The guys that got Browning stickers on their fucking trucks.
I like Browning shit.
I like Browning shit, but those motherfuckers ruined it. So they have that shit, or they'll have like, oh, I can't even talk shit about Salt Life stickers. I got Salt Life stickers. But anyway, you have those kind of motherfuckers. They're like, oh, I'm redneck. Like, this redneck is they get like, they listen to fucking Luke Bryan.
Florida rednecks are a different breed.
And that's it. They listen to Luke Bryan, and they bass fish with their grandpa, and they think they're country dude. No, you get out there to the fucking people, and that's another thing too. That shit is so fucking alive and intertwined in like the culture of those people. Like, you go down to Kentucky,
everyone believes in Bigfoot.
You mention it, and they go, and it's kind of dealt with in a no shit thing.
Right.
The way that you're interacted with is totally fucking different.
Right.
They interact with you like, oh yeah. And it's not like you're a fucking kook. It'd
be like if we
what
went
did
to
you see?
If we went to New York City and talked to a local and be like, we heard there's muggers here. They'd be like, yeah, don't get on the train at night in this neighborhood because you'll get mugged.
And for us from here, we go, well, that's unfair to assume. Like,
right, yeah. We're out of touch.
We
with
judge it out of character.
I don't know shit about New York City. Times Square, fucking not Eiffel Tower.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know shit.
I don't know anything. Statue of Liberty. That's what I meant.
What country we in?
But then somebody comes out of the country and talks to some old guy that's lived in his house for 40 years and says,
how do you charge your
Tesla? Don't follow the fucking creatures into the woods.
Dude.
You better believe that motherfucker, man.
Well, it's like, and what kills me is like the native folklore. Like when us fucking white motherfuckers got here, you know, whatever your background is, you know, Scandinavian, German, French, English, whatever, when white motherfuckers got here and stole the fucking land.
You're falling into a new
and
house.
Stole the land from the fucking natives. The native people fucking had so fucking many. Every culture of the natives had the fucking had knowledge of, and they didn't talk about them as like an animal. They, in most cultures, they talked about it like almost like another fucking person.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the hitch, dude.
Right.
If you ask me personally, I'm not trying to get all tinfoil fucking hat on you.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the government, the powers that be, everything, people know that the motherfucker's there. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you acknowledge it and say, hey man, you go out to fucking East Fork, you go out to fucking Yellowstone, you go out wherever, there could be some shit there. You know how many people are going to get sketched out camping? I mean, a lot of people are going to be excited, but how many people are going to get sketched out? The kind of fucking shit they're going to have to acknowledge. And then on the fucking other turn of it, this is where you get weird with it. So you have the DNA evidence, and this is where you get weird. So what if, you know, you test Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever, Almas, Yaren, all this shit. You test that fucking DNA, and that DNA is closer to us than it is a primate. What the fuck do you consider that thing? Is that a people? Do you give it rights? Do you acknowledge it? Do you completely rewrite our books on the shit?
I think if you kill it, you get away with it. But
someone's gonna have to kill one.
You see that fucking
black cat, dude. Synchronicity.
Synchronicities.
Yeah, just synchronicity.
A black cat just ran past. It's a sign. But it's a synchronicity.
Oh my god, it's a happy birthday balloon.
Shout out Hellier, dude. One of the best fucking goddamn documentaries.
I'd say Hellier is a catalyst that brought this podcast, which was a long time in the making.
And them motherfuckers are right downtown, dude.
They are. I emailed them.
Price Hill?
They're in Price Hill.
I think so. I think they're
Holy
like.
shit.
I think they're like lower west side.
They should know which train not to get on. Well, we don't have trains in Cincinnati, but they should know where to not go.
We don't have trains, right? As
we have trains. We don't have subways.
We don't. Oh, I'm sorry, subways. Yeah, we don't have people trains.
Yeah,
we got bullshit trains.
We have an underground subway that was abandoned. Super haunted.
We got inconvenient properties of trains. But yeah, dude, that's my whole that's where I'm at with it. Is like, there's no fucking way with how knowledgeable the government is that they don't have like a whiff. They don't know about shit, because there's also a ton of stories of semi kind of state level government involvement with sightings that have just kind of been swept away. And
I feel like I need to grab the aluminum foil.
No, and I'm just saying, it gets to that point. No, because some fucking conspiracy shit, I'll give it floor time. But like, to me, that there's no fucking way with the literally. There's thousands of fucking reports, thousands, and there's there's physical fucking evidence, there's videography, there's everything, and there's no fucking way. You know for a sec, you know as well as I do that like you send a fucking fucking SEAL team out there to goddamn fucking Washington fucking state, middle of fucking nowhere, Montana, middle of nowhere. Dude, you send some people out there that know what the fuck they're doing, you're gonna fucking find something, dude. And that's why I feel like we're at the golden age, dude. The FLIR cameras, you know, all that thermal shit. It's just, to me, like this, it's gonna fucking happen. And that's it. To me, it's no longer a matter of if, it's a matter of when the shit hits the
Do
proverbial
you guys
fan.
get regular Bigfoot reports?
I don't know how, because we used to maintain a website,
Yeah.
and that we would sell. That's the other thing. We sold a little bit of merch,
Right.
but all fucking sales went back into the team.
Bigfoot stuff.
Nothing went into like anyone's pocket.
Sure. Yeah,
and that was what we prided ourselves on. Like, hey, dude, we would go do talks and everything else, like libraries and town halls and shit. And we made no fucking money. Mm-hmm. We did it because we liked it. And hey, if you donate, cool. Thanks for throwing in on the new fucking game truck camera, or the new audio shit, you know. And so, we ran the website and we cataloged reports, but that's the thing, like the BFRO beat everyone to the fucking punch, and they got way bigger than everyone else, so they get all the reports. When you look up like site reporting shit on Google, that's where you're gonna get taken to. It's gonna be your first fucking page. BFRO shit.
Oh, okay.
The Bureau of or Bigfoot, I don't know, Field Research Organization, whatever. Yeah. The people who are behind finding Bigfoot, they're the first fucking ping. They have this giant, and I appreciate that, they have this giant fucking catalog, A to Z, of reports all over the country.
But
and
is
they did it first.
Unregulated or something?
No, theirs is like constantly updated. Ours was like centrally located.
My wife's calling.
Centrally located to ours, and you know, we maintained it. And it was a different monster, dude. It was a different beast, and it's because the team kind of fell out. I don't know, because I never did the technical end of that shit. I was.
You were there to participate and assist.
I was the boots on the ground, dude. I was the one, like, if we got a fucking report, I'm coming in.
Right. Oh yeah. Like, I mean, then you definitely have a further background in that.
I didn't want to do the technical shit. I wanted to do the.
Well, you were there out of the curiosity of your own nature. Like, you weren't there necessarily to prove it to everybody else.
That's exactly it. As weird as it sounds, like, I don't give a fuck.
You wanted to explain what happened to you when you were 15.
This sounds shitty, but I don't give a fuck about proving it to you, anyone. I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about, I want to, it's a weird thing. Like, I never got to see the motherfucker's face. To me, like, that would be it. I want to see, like, eye to fucking eye, a total face encounter.
Yeah, at this point, you are talking about trying to reveal the details of a mystery that is personal to you.
It's a personal mystery.
Not a mystery that's personal to the world.
Because I saw something, and to me, it's like, I gotta look at the fucking eye, dude. That's it.
You want to shake its hand, play a game of chess, drink a beer, and then forget about it.
We might have been peeking this mic the whole time.
Oh well.
It says it's only been recording for 35 minutes. It might be like if we started a new recording or something.
Yeah, it might have went to a different file.
Like it has channels or whatever.
Oh yeah, it says 2, so it's probably been about an hour. Does that sound right?
This is good.
An hour and a half?
And it's probably been an hour and a half as my guess, and it's probably we hit an hour and then it chirped into the next one channel.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, this is podcast 1, the trial.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be the fucking.
Is
this going to be a ritual?
Well, I mean, again, it's like,
is this going to be a ritual?
I wanted to get microphones. They're USB.
Dude, no, these people are like insanely cool about anything. Because I remember me and you were like, hey, like when me and you were like pursuing the music thing again. You were fucking gone all over the country, but me and you were like, hey, and I'm like, hey, we can play Swine, and Swine, like literally, they don't give a fuck what you like. Don't be a nuisance, but like you can do anything.
I will bring people here.
Yeah, no, that's the
let's
thing.
do stuff
Because they're up and coming, but they don't give a shit. They're like, yeah cool.
We should. So, anyways, they had USB microphones at Best Buy for $50. They're made by JBL.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys would be down.
I'm down.
You buy one of them. You have the 3 USB. I can put it on my laptop. We record on my laptop. It would sound a lot better than this.
Well, the problem that you consider when you start doing
you got a snowball, don't you?
I have a rotary snowball.
Bring that motherfucker.
Which can work. I just got to run it off a laptop.
You could record it on your laptop and we can put them together.
Yeah. You got all
the scenario that you come up with is the second that you start doing multiple inputs from USB,
I looked into it. There's a way you can do it.
There's a way you can do it, but it's a little hairy at times. Yeah. What I wanted to do, like the best thing you can do is
get a mixer.
You get mics and you run them into a mixer.
Yeah.
And then you pretty much use the mixer as your balancing control.
Sure.
The only problem is when you do that, like let's say you're recording it all into GarageBand, your GarageBand is going to record it all as a singular flat audio file. Rather than as three separate channels.
Yeah.
Because in separate channels, like if I just start talking really loud, like there's no means to be able to like adjust and control that in comparison to everybody else, like. Because like when we did Clean Cut Casual years and years ago, the board game podcast, I mean, we recorded that solely from a snowball.
Everyone?
We ran anywhere from 2 people to 7 people.
I have a really nice microphone, but it's a cardioid pattern, so I don't think it would pick up a group.
Mine actually has like a conal radial read.
I mean, and this thing also it has XLR input too, so we can record 2 mics on here. So I don't know.
So you can independently tap in mics on them.
Yeah. I don't know.
So like, when the fuck we gonna get out there?
We gotta get out there. That's what I'm saying.
Let's go to that's the thing. I got my whole thing. I got the fucking van.
Dude,
the seats fucking recline.
This is so funny.
The back folds out into a fucking bed. You 2 tall motherfuckers.
That's our fucking mystery machine.
See, that's saying
this is what is our fucking mystery machine.
At 6 foot, at 6 foot fucking tall, I'm the fucking short one. It pisses me off. It pisses me the fuck off. You 2 are too fucking big. So if we do encounter Sasquatch, you 2 go in. You guys got it.
Listen,
we're all 3 football players.
Yeah, but you make up for
no, and that's the thing. Jay's cool with carrying on his property. He don't give a fuck. He encourages like, hey, bring a fucking gun.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go 3 rounds of Bigfoot.
So we get.
I'm gonna kill
so
Bigfoot
I can pull the van all the way in his backyard.
We can talk about the government,
and he'll fucking hang out.
Sure.
But he knows the fucking area, and that's like I don't want to like paint a picture that's not correct. Like he has his lot, which is a decent sized fucking lot, and then he bought the neighboring lot to him that used to have a trailer on it that got torn down. So he owns enough property to have like a little fucking vineyard, and he's got a pond back there, but it's all of the farmland around him in woodland. Like he is in the shit. It's like you're gonna get out to his property and you go down kind of like an Eastgate. It's not suburbia, but an Eastgate neighborhood, quote unquote. But dude, just give it a fucking chance, because that his property is the first time I had that smell.
Yeah.
And if you've ever like cut grass, like bagged it and dumped it, and like
stinky.
Went over to it a week later,
all funky.
Yeah, that it's gym bag with that. It's a funk. We had that out there.
Bigfoot funk. That's a candle smell.
And that's where they get the fucking. That's where they get the fucking skunk ape shit.
That's some fucking.
And you got to figure, dude.
Paltrow candle shit.
The fucking skunk ape shit, dude. That motherfucker going down there in them fucking swamps.
Ooh, there's
all the time,
there's
dude.
some creatures down there in
dude.
Florida, man. That it's very, very dense with animals down there, like panthers. And bears,
I legit saw a fucking
shit.
python.
Yeah, weird.
Blown
shit.
up on the highway, like it was trying to crawl across the highway and got hit.
Blasted.
Because like we're driving down and we're going down 95. I think it was 95. Going down there to see my fucking in-laws, and on the side of the highway it looked like a blown apart 18-wheeler, like fucking tire.
Yeah.
But as we drove past it was a fucking snake that had just been baked in the fucking sun and got hit. And dude, it was fucking massive. And I'm like, dude, this fucking state could have anything, dude.
Shit, it's past 10.
It's close to 10:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuck it.
I thought it was 10. I was like, oh, we're holding her up.
I'm milking my beer.
Oh, okay.
Is that one good?
We all drank the same thing.
You got the fucking Pilsner.
No, we all got blondes, because the Pilsner was blown and the pumpkin was
that was a good fucking, that was a decent little beer.
Yeah, I like it.
Why, this was what you got last time, and you were like, oh, it kind of tastes flat. Wasn't it?
No. I got some. What the fuck did I get?
Maybe you got the blonde.
I must have had the end of the keg or something. It was.
You got that one wheat beer.
That's what it was. I got the Hefe. Yeah.
I got the wheat beer.
Okay.
Well, there's one thing I wanted to do. We don't have to pinky swear unless you want to.
I'll pinky it.
Yeah, you got a knife.
No
We're cutting our
fucking
hands
bullshit ever.
No, never.
No
dude,
fucking
I'm a
bullshit.
no fucking bullshit dude.
We're 3 kids with a Ouija board. Nobody pulls the fucking
no bullshit
the thing.
No bullshit. That's the thing. I don't want the fucking
triangle.
bullshit, dude.
No
I want it. I want everything to be at fucking
That is also
face value.
the one problem with television, and that's what got Ghost Hunters, the Taps guys, is that like they got to the point where they were like, they got to keep the show going.
We ain't gonna be on fucking mainstream.
That's not
TV,
what I meant.
So, like,
that's not what I meant. But I'm
we'll
saying,
be able to
like,
do what the fuck we want.
don't let anything change your perception. Like,
nah.
Honesty, truth, above all else.
My shit's fucking nailed in stone. Like, I know what I want to. I have shit I want to experience, and I'm gonna.
Sure.
I'm gonna kind of strive.
We're all
to experience it, but I'm gonna put myself in the best situations to experience it.
Well, see, there's confirmation bias where like you see things, or maybe you assign meaning to something that isn't necessarily there. There might be that, which is fine. The problem is you might also have like a skeptical bias where it's like you discredit things even when they're suspect.
See, my thing, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
We pinky sweared, just so everyone knows.
But it's a fucking duck, so like, my thing, if we get to somewhere, and like say we're doing fucking ghost shit, there's no fucking spoopy shit going on, I'm not gonna play the game with it.
Oh, there's something here.
Yeah, if we go to like some occult shit or whatever, and we're doing some kind of like ritual-y shit, and I ain't feeling it, I'm not gonna play into the game of, oh, I feel a connection. No, I'm not. I don't feel it, so I'm not gonna tell you I fucking feel it. Another thing too, if we get out to like property and nothing's fucking happening like cryptid-wise, like that's gonna happen.
Well, and
99% of the time.
That's half the reason why I kind of like the recording the audio via just like a single line stereo, because like, you know, it's not, the intention is not to go into it in a manner of we have all the tools, we have the production. It's more just three dudes who are fucking bored and just pretty much chasing the dragon to try and find whatever experience they can
We're
find.
going out there for the experience,
to
dude. We're going out there for the experience, and that's what needs to be the fucking catalyst. Like, yeah, if we could prove some shit, dope. But I want someone to like watch or listen or whatever and go with us on the experience. I want you to fucking walk with me, to watch with me the fucking experience. And I feel like that's enriching. That's enriching. That's enriching to experience it. That shit's fucking expensive.
You can get them pretty reasonable
nowadays.
They actually make a camera. It's a Sony camera, and then there's a company that modifies it called Paranormal Research something rather. Like it's a night vision camera. It's so stupid. But you can modify cameras to see infrared. It's not that bad. It's not that expensive. I plan on getting a good camera anyways for
just your personal endeavors. Yeah.
Shout out to Best Buy.
Sponsor.
Yeah. We want to do this footage raw, but seriously, just plug whatever.
That's what Best Buy wants to sponsor. They want to sponsor Paranormal podcast.
Yeah, they're like, this is our meal ticket.
This is our niche market.
This is how we.
We're no longer selling refrigerators. We're selling infrared.
MacBooks out of here. Paranormal
Samsung
cameras.
Refrigerator. Fuck that. We want your spoopy
infrared
shit.
night vision cameras. Yeah, that's what we wanted to do.
Fuck, man.
Let me figure out the.
It's gonna be a fucking. It's gonna be an endeavor, dude. It's gonna be a fucking.
This is what I
to say. I'm pumped for the fuck. I want to like, almost like that weirdly religious experience shit. Like some like weird fucking.
See some shit.
No, some seance.
So here's
fucking. That's something we start with, dude. Let's do a
honesty.
fucking general. Let's fucking find some old, the old stereotypical old fucking white haired creepy bitch that does a fucking seance shit, dude.
Well, here's what me and Ethan were saying when we're not up here.
We don't fucking know.
We were saying. There might be a haunt where like we don't find anything, right?
Oh,
that's
dude,
why
it's gonna
we need to put the emphasis on the people and like get their story, because that's what's interesting.
The story, yeah.
That's
and the root of it all is what's interesting about the story is not necessarily that you're going to go prove or you're going to go find the EMF reader going off. What's interesting in the story is
you're going to go out to Loveland and find a giant frog.
The history in the level of belief of folklore in the interpretation of people that you run into who are just there.
I'm so glad we're all on the same page about
like,
that.
I'm not there to go trigger the fucking sensor and be like, well, there's ghosts here. I'm here to go and talk to the people that are like, I feel this way.
If we don't catch shit, I want us to literally look at the cameras and be like, well, boys.
Well, really.
Is everyone down to listen to hours and hours of EVP?
Oh, dude, I play.
You do it at work?
I play. I play like when I get home from work. I'll sit there. I'll play Overwatch a little bit. Plug in Overwatch. Blizzard sponsor our shit. But like
Winston is Bigfoot.
Yeah, Winston is Bigfoot.
He's Bigfoot.
But no, like I'll just sit there and like, or I'll play like some little mindless phone games or shit, or like we'll be, doing. I'll just be like vegging out, like I'll just fucking put my headphones in, play some little fucking mindless game, and listen to all the fucking audio. Like that doesn't bother me at all.
I'll definitely get
because that's what we have to fucking use, dude. I remember the first time they gave me. The first time I got we went out and recorded at fucking Scioto County. I had 7 fucking hours of audio, dude.
Oof.
And you're just like, fuck. And at first you're like you're all pumped up. You're like, dude, we're gonna catch it. You get to like hour 3, bro.
Ain't shit out there.
And you're just like,
that's a branch cracking.
You hear crickets. You hear crickets for the 3rd straight fucking hour. You're just like, fucking blast me in the face, dude. You're over it. But like, I mean, I want to do that shit. I do want to review the audio and the evidence, but at the same time, dude, I want to kind of
crowdsource it.
I want to kind of fly. I want to kind of fly by the seat of our pants and go live, dude. Like if we don't catch it, and it slips by us,
it's just whatever.
If you want,
we got a cool story from the old lady.
If you want to look into it more.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We could link. We'd be like, hey, here's audio file. Like link the audio file.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to give it we'll give you a shout out. You want to give us a listen?
In essence, our
crowdsource the fucking work, dude.
Yeah, in essence, ours.
I'll make a Facebook page.
Ours is more coming from reporting, documentary sense on the fact that you're not trying to create a doctored circumstance for someone to enjoy as entertainment.
No.
You're trying to enjoy the entertainment through discussion and through dialogue.
Fucking entertainment.
If you end up getting tons of hours of footage, you just post that shit and you just go, hey, like this stuff is here, and we'll see what happens, not necessarily saying that like, oh, we rummage through for the best footage and kind of determine from there, what, like, oh, this is what we think happened. It's not about what we think, it's about the experience of us being there in essence.
When you
reporting.
When you rummage through it, you kind of drum up false bullshit. You kind of get grabby with it.
Yeah, I know Bryan and I kind
taking
of like
pictures. We all look goofy.
Selfies. I love how your flash is pretty much just your screen turning white.
Goes,
yeah.
I look like I've had 3 beers.
3 brewery strength beers.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah. So I don't really know where we start first. I mean,
I feel like
if you can get in contact with the Bigfoot people, I think that's awesome. The people that that property.
So
that's
Jay,
what I'm talking about. Where you saw your Bigfoot.
Now the question is, would our intention be to get there at
first
crack of dawn, or would our intention of being camping?
So I can tell you what Jay's gonna do. So like, it depends on everyone else's schedule.
Yeah.
It's like load up the fucking van, take a cooler,
mystery machine,
take some load up the mystery, load up
snacks.
Old Fancy, load up some fucking brews, whatever we want to do, because I don't want to be that clean cut fucking bull. Like, I'm gonna have a fucking beer on a fucking weekend night.
Sure.
You ain't driving.
Yeah, I'm camping.
Well, maybe you are driving. I don't know.
No, but we'll get out there. We'll load up Friday night, Saturday night, whatever we want to do. Just we have to let him know, and though he can plan accordingly, he's got he's got the shit out there. We did literally what we found is best is to act naturally. So you go out there, you light a fire, you shoot the shit.
It's like you're going in the woods to take mushrooms, but you're not taking mushrooms.
Because like if Bigfoot is
really like after it's all said and done, you're going in the woods.
Bigfoot is
if
Bigfoot is what we say it is, it's naturally fucking inquisitive. So like the most success we've ever had out of his place is just letting the shit come to you, and you kind of shoot the shit, but you keep your ears open. You know what I mean? You listen and you go, what the fuck was that? We've had shit across the road. We've had a wood knock like at the edge of his fucking property, dude. It sounded like fucking goddamn Mark McGuire fucking hitting a fucking tree, dude.
Really?
And you go, that wasn't a fucking branch, dude. That was you reach that. That's the thing is, I wish I had a fucking $1 for every time I've been out there and you've had those weird occurrences that people are like, oh, it could have been this. Yeah. But dude, was it?
Was it though?
But was it? Yeah. You reach that point where you're like, it could have been 30 squirrels jumping out of a single tree at once.
At that point,
was it? At
that point, you drop down the seats in the van, You load up in the fucking van. You take the van there. You park the van as far into the woods as you can. You fucking open the cooler. You drink beers and you fucking play board games in the back of the van with the fucking lantern battery-powered light.
Oh,
and what happens happens.
He's decked out. He's
I'm gonna be strapped up.
He's got his own shit.
Dude, my father-in-law has he bought a thermal scope for his AR.
Goddamn, he's getting serious.
He got it for a fucking steal. He got it for like $400. But yeah, I was like, I want that.
I want that.
I want it. I can get a FLIR camera for my phone.
We'd be getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we should.
15 minutes.
Let's wrap this up.
20 minutes.
We don't know what we're going to do next. We don't know where we're going to go, but it seems like we want to do a ghost hunt. I think that's probably the logical place to start first, unless you can get your Bigfoot people.
They're ready to know. That's the
Ready to go.
Really, after it's all said and done, it's more about us plus whoever else wants
Bigfoot
wants
can be
to just
whenever.
explore the opportunity of seeing what happens.
But
And then just
Loopiness
reporting
wise?
Telling
on
the story of the
on
people.
Yeah, well, yeah. The from a documentation standpoint, it is just reporting on our experiences of taking the time to actually explore things that some people are like, oh, this is interesting, but they don't do.
Document. It's a story of us finding out what's going on.
Right, and if it's
Yeah.
you're finding out something or not, it's about the experience of us going out and actually like developing the narrative and getting the content to present it. Not necessarily saying that this is the proof. We're not here to prove anything. We're here to just experience it and just report on it in the most natural, drink 3 beers at the brewery.
We just want you motherfuckers to walk with us, dude. Let's take a fucking weird stroll, dude.
I can dig it. Brian,
Let's walk.
Brian, send us off.
Threshold.
Send us off.
Thank you guys, man. We've had a good time. Shout out to fucking Swine City, where this seems to be kind of a regular fucking hang at this point.
Quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet. So we're gonna keep doing the shit. Stay tuned for more shit. We're gonna get weird. We're gonna take you to the threshold. Dun, dun, dun.